I invited you into the game, by the way.
Alright, welcome! I'm Xenodactyl, and with me
Damacontissus.
Today, what do we have?
So we have the third edition of the Alpha Scrims. It's an in-house tournament between our top players. And well, tonight we have a little bit of a surprise. We have two new players, actually. Sinner and the Zerglord. And it's going to be our first match of the day, our first series.
Okay.
It's a ZBT. First map is going to be Kairos Junction. We already did beta phase and all of that. I think we're almost ready to get into game. What do you say, Xeno?
Looks good.
Then let's say our players we're ready. So CBT on Kairos Junction. It's probably the most standard map we can get for our first series. It's going to be a best of 5. Every map will be loser's choice, loser's pick from now on, after the first game. And, well, we're going to see how our two new guys are going to handle this series. Type !M for the match arena codes. You can use those to increase the prize pool. And, well, it can be really useful, so please do it.
Alrighty. You want to take the first introduction then?
Yeah, for sure. Are you making me the observer, or are you doing it yourself?
I'll let you obs when we're out of intro and, like, running.
Okay, for sure. So, why don't we start in the top left-hand side of Kairos Junction. Sporting as the blue Terran, we have Sinner.
And in the bottom right, as the red Zerg, it is the Zerglord.
Such a cool drone scheme, by the way. So, this is already a 12 pool. This is interesting to say the least. So, Zerglord actually...
It's a short rush map, so you can definitely
really
get across the map quickly and get at least that cancel.
Anyway, it's not a super committed build into aggression, just a 12 pool stand. Yeah, no gas. It's just gonna be like probably 6 to 10 Zerglings trying to delay the command center, doing stuff.
Or at least there wasn't any initially. He's taking gas now. Not sure what his follow-up
there is not gonna be enough gas to start metabolic
Yeah, he's not
boost.
gonna start it now. I just wonder if it's like okay.
Oh,
that
what
answers
is
my
this?
question. So,
Roach Woman.
I think the idea is the initial lings get the cancel on the low ground, and the roaches come across for a Ravager follow-up behind us.
Okay, so 2 of the Zerglings are actually shooing away the SCV to avoid scouting.
Yeah.
Sinner has not seen the Roach Woman, so that's a pretty big piece of information missing. But now that the Reaper is on, I don't know. So 2 links are getting to the natural of Sinner. Command center on the high ground, very clever. The Marine is probably gonna avoid any damage taken.
Yeah, I think ideally he would have wanted this to be without the SCV scout so that at least the lings could get the cancel. But now they're just gonna have to settle for putting on some light pressure until these roaches get across the map. But the Reaper is here and it's going to scout the roaches before they get across the map as well. So really the ball is in Sinner's court to defend.
Yeah, Tech Lab soon added to the factory. You want a tank to defend from this, since a bunker can get shredded to bits by Ravager bites.
Yeah, he
but
does
anyway,
have
those
to,
roaches
and they are tucked back, which is nice. Gonna be easier to repair and slightly more difficult for the biles to connect.
So to defend this, actually, Sinner has chosen for a Cyclone and Reactor Marines. So 2 bunkers and a Cyclone. just one Ravager at the moment, another one morphing right now. So it's just a little bit of damage because, by the way, in the meantime, the Zerglord is actually droning behind this. So, not committed to do too much damage, still you need to do something. Because all the Cyclone almost gets buried to death. Now Sinner is supply blocked, but there is not any more units coming out from the Zerglord base. So just trying to do some more damage, maybe kill some SCVs and stuff. Witches are giving a little bit of high ground vision, but the Cyclone shoots the Ravagers away. Now all of the units of the Zerglord are actually pretty bruised. He just retires without losing anything and killing 2 supply depots. So a little bit of damage, a third base on the way, not too shabby.
Yeah, really identifying that he wasn't going to get much done beyond the supply depots, which were pretty much free pickings with the Ravagers and the high ground vision. But good defense overall. Banshee's gonna
look at these
come out.
Banshees. At the same time, Messina probably wants to switch to a more like traditional Ling Bane style. So Ling Speed actually started. Actually, this could be just Ling, Ravager, and Roaches. He probably wants to deal some more damage. He gets 2 more gases.
I don't know if he wants to.
Inside. Okay, Lair just started, so we're gonna see the transition really, really soon.
Okay.
At the same time, no Overseer, no Sport Crawlers, so those Banshees could probably even up the match.
Yeah, third base is started for Sinner on the high ground, so he should be also ready to play the macro game if he doesn't get much done with the Banshees.
Yeah, the first Banshee actually goes through the map unseen. Cloak almost finished, 12 seconds more. So this Banshee could actually take a little bit of damage before clocking. So first pro quarter actually started. 2 drones already died. Okay, 2 drones already died. 3 drones. No detection whatsoever for the Zerglord, who is doomed to lose at least a lot of money and time alongside with some drones. So now he's trying to focus as many drones as he can. Procooler almost done. He has to get away from there if he doesn't want to lose the Banshee. And actually, he gets away really closely with just 8 HPs.
Wow.
And now, that's a lot of damage, by the way. 8 drones actually killed with just 1 Banshee and another Banshee actually going through the map on the other side. Spokecaller already here, Overseer in position. This probably won't do a lot of damage, but 8 drones, that's way more than enough.
Evo chambers are on the way, so the Zerglord is developing his game. He's heading for that greater economy and higher tech.
Still no Hydralis then?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's gonna stay on Roach Ravager for a while or just like.
Yeah, actually is researching ranged, carapace, and roach speed, so probably he's gonna stay on roach for a while longer. But this could even be actually almost if we see an infestation pit soon.
Oh sure. He is in a position that I feel Swarm hosts like. You need something that's going to combo better with the Roach Ravager and also kind of drag out the game.
Yeah, he saw the tanks, he saw the Banshees. He actually needs something to snipe those kind of units. So Hydras would probably be the better thing, but with Swarmos, you can actually deal a lot of damage to the production and to the economy of Sinner, since Kairos Junction is such a short map.
Well, I feel like the Swarm host is kind of like a Protoss player getting a Disruptor, in the sense that it gains value over time, and you're already in a...
Oh, actually, this is scary. Sinner is moving up with 2 medivacs, and the army of the Zerglord is a little bit out of position. He could take a lot of damage with his harassment, since he has basically nothing to break those tanks. So, Ravager's getting to position to actually buy down the tanks. The tanks are dying, but at the same time, on the other side of the map, those Marines are doing some work. and naturally is going to fall really soon, but there is no more tanks to defend from this push. Banshees are just gonna kill all that's left, but they're gonna take a lot of time. 15 SCVs have died, and Hatchery has died. Meanwhile, the Zerglord has actually cleaned the double Medivac and Marines attack that was done. Well, not actually cleared, he just shoot it away. But those Banshees are actually killing everything that the Zerglord sent through the map. Marines are actually dying, a lot of SCVs have died, but this is not going to end the game, but, well, the Zerglord is in a pretty nice spot.
With these two medevacs coming back to reinforce, I think Sinner will be able to hold, but
the game is by no means
precarious still.
I think the Zerglord needs actually something to take up, because if those Marines get to huge numbers, there is no way Roaches can break those.
I think one of the really important things of that in exchange was that he reset the tank count. And if the tank count gets too high, and you're on Roach Ravager,
include those Banshees as well anyway. Okay, so
not having anything for the Banshees yet is a little bit of a problem.
Okay, Nidus is actually the play. So, no Infestation Pit, no Hydra Dam. I think the Zerglord wants to end the game here and now. So many more units actually sent through the map. The first Nidus network actually started to get in and outside of the base of Sinner really quickly. Once again, Sinner is supply blocked and is going to lose a little bit more SCVs. Now that the Nidus is ready, there it is, the evacuate. Okay, sorry, it's not evacuating actually. It's staying there with Queens to support his army. Many more units are sent through the map. Actually, Sinner is not in a nice spot. The bunker is going to die, and Nidus network gets killed in the main base just as soon as he was getting up. Okay, so Queens are gonna help with Banshees, but there are no Ravagers to kill the tanks. That's probably going to be the issue. Okay, the Overseer dies, so there's no high ground view to kill the tank in the high ground, but Queens are are transfusing the hell out of those roaches to actually survive the amount of Marines that are sent through the wave. Another 8 SCVs died, all the Banshees get cleared. Now 2 Liberators, Sinner with a tech switch actually tries to get stuff done. One of the Liberators actually died, but the other one is getting a lot of work done. Marines are dying, the Liberators is clear, and another Nidus network on the ramp. I don't think the Zerglord has quite enough to kill this, and he actually GG's out. A little bit too commitment on those roaches. Actually lost him the game. You need tech to keep that kind of army.
I mean, I feel like he was really trying to hit, like, max supply timing and not, like, develop past the 1-1 roach speed. And then he went for his attack, and then he just didn't have anything to deal with the anti-air. Or any anti-air to deal with the Banshees and the Liberators until... So, like, he was dependent on Queens to come across the map in the Nidus, which... It could have worked, I think, if he had maybe a couple more Ravagers left over and high ground vision. But he lost the Ravagers, he lost the Overseer, like you mentioned, and he just didn't have any way to deal with the tank on the high ground. So then that shut down the Nidus and really messed with any further pushes, and there was just too much bile left over from losing his third. I think that was another issue, is that he didn't have enough to both attack and defend because he didn't have anti-air.
Yeah, like, and actually losing that archery was such a big deal. Meanwhile, he actually killed 16 SCVs, so that's also a really big deal. But being on just 3 archeries, just losing one, is such a big deal. Because are we gonna go in Saber Forest for our next map?
Alright.
Okay, so we're right here. Invite to game. Okay, so I guess we're ready to get into game 2 of our series of our best of 5. Are you ready, Xeno?
Yeah.
Let's get it done. Cyber Forest, another really short rush distance map. I think the Zerglord will actually try to do some not committed damage in the early game again, because he has chosen this map. Sorry, and if you choose Cyber Forest, you have something in mind, that's for sure.
It's definitely a good tank map, so not or for a Zerg to select it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But here we are, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of our very own Cyber Forest. It is our Red Zerg, the new member of the Alpha X family. It is the Zerglord.
And to the upper left, in the blue, it is the Terran. It is Sinner.
Well. No early pull yet from the Zerglord. And Sinner is going for the most standard thing you can possibly do right here. Okay, so he's hiding the barracks inside his own base. That's something, really clever, because with the Overlord Scout, you can actually get just on top of the ramp.
I feel like this is almost specific to this map, too, because on some maps, I don't think this would necessarily be of any particular value. Whereas here, with the shorter distance...
Yeah, it can be useful, especially versus Zerg. So in another SCV Scout, actually, Sinner is going to see there's nothing too cheeky coming out of the Zerglord build order. But still, I don't know. Okay, this SCV is going to try and block, or at least delay, the third base by the Zerglord. No clash opening, so no early third base going to be got. So barracks instantly with the tech lab, so no Reaper.
Yeah, this
and low ground command center. This is getting weird, Adesina. Okay, so another barracks. So actually, this is going to be a 2-1-1.
Huh.
Oh, factory. Okay, I have this all kinds of wrong.
I am very confused.
Yeah, me
partially
too.
because I don't play Terran, but at the same time, I don't know what this could be, because why would you get the tech lab so fast and then?
Because you want to get out Banshees really soon, I guess. I think this is going to be either a lot of Banshees really soon, either a lot of Elbats and then a battle cruiser.
Well,
I think
place
it's
for a
going to be
starport. You're right.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, Hellions, and this tech club is going to be used for a starport. So, are you calling Banshees or are you calling actually battle cruisers? I don't know, man.
Your guess is as good as mine here.
You know, I've been...
Arguably, your guess would be better because you play this matchup at least, whereas...
Yeah, I'm playing a lot of random lately, as you well know. And actually, I've never done a battle cruiser build against Zerg, because I feel like pretty much everyone... And okay, so this is Banshee, called Banshees. And this is something that can be really useful.
This is probably the fastest Cloak Banshee.
Yeah. Aside from being a really fast Cloak Banshee, you can get Hellions actually in and deal some damage, while on the other side, in the main base, you can actually try and deal some damage with the Cloak Banshee. And one thing that's really good for this is, aside from being a really short distance map, a rush distance map, so actually you can get units out really fast.
That because that SCV forced the third to be placed on the other location, the Banshees will have an easier time harassing the main and the third.
Yeah, because there is no quick connection actually between the main and the natural.
It's not even that, it's just the flight path.
Yeah, aside from that, actually going from this third base location with 4 queens into the main is going to take a while.
Right.
But the Hellions are probably not going to deal a lot of damage. Okay, so the Quick Tumor actually sees it all, gets cancelled, and now the queens get into position to deal with those. And at the same time, a quite healthy pack of Lynx is going through the map, and there is nothing to actually hold this.
That's
to
really
be honest.
nice. Throwing a wrench in the...
That's gonna be a lot of damage dealt to those SCVs that are trying to go away to find some kind of safety. But now the SCVs are just trying to hack through everything they come into view. But right now the aliens are going back into the natural sinner to show away those openings. 2 drones died to the Cloak Banshee, and just 3 SCVs to those small packs of lanes. Now he gets another little bit of a scout. He sees there are a lot of aliens. This could throw him a little bit off, because actually Sinner just started Steam Pack and a reactor next to his starboard. And 2 more barracks. This is going to be bio. The aliens get into position to actually try and kill some drones. Ooh, quite a good surround with the Lynx, but the Reaper actually tries to buy some time without actually managing to shoot those Lynx away. Every single unit by the Zilla actually gets cleared. And now with the Overseer in the main base, the Zerglord actually scouts what's going on. He sees the tech lab next to the barracks, and now the Zerglord knows exactly what he's going against and has doubled the supply of the Sinner. I think he's in a pretty good spot. More Lynx actually trying to hack away at this wall by the Sinner, but the Banshee is gonna come back home to try and deal with this huge amount of Lynx. More SCVs are definitely going to die, and now the SCVs that gets pulled to actually kill those Lynx. 7 SCVs die in this attack, 8, probably going to be 9 real soon. Actually, he kills a mule maybe? Yeah, a mule dies. Sinner calls the GG, he has nothing to actually hold a stream of lanes. So quite a late tech switch, bit too many aliens. I think the Zerglord actually played this pretty much perfectly. He avoided any kind of damage while going for a really solid counter-attack with just a small pack of lanes.
Yeah, I think the initial Lings getting into the natural was like perfectly timed to hiccup the timing that Sinner wanted to go for with the Hellions and the Banshees. Like, he was setting up for kind of a 2-prong harass and could have gotten a lot of drones with that. But because his Hellions were forced to come home, and then his Banshees also had to come home, he just never got the opening he was looking for.
Oh, Sinner is not elected to join the game. Why? In his 5 minutes, it's okay. Well, since our players need a little bit of time, I want to actually take this moment to give a huge shout out to one of our wonderful sponsors. Without them, trust me guys, any of these events will not be possible. And in this occasion, I want to talk about 24-Hour Fitness. That is such a huge company for over 30 years. 24-Hour Fitness has been dedicated to helping people achieve their fitness goals. The amount of gyms they have throughout the North American territories, mind-blowing. They have over 430 locations, 430 gyms. So anywhere you want to go in the States, trust me, you're going to find a 24-hour fitness gym over there. Each one of them is fully equipped with weights, cardio machines, studio classes, and there are also personal trainers devoted to actually helping you achieve your goals. So huge shout out for them. Without them, any of this could be possible. Okay, so we're waiting for the sinner. So New Repugnancy, ZBT, once again, another pretty short distance map and another really good tank map.
It's also a good Reaper map. I
Yeah,
don't
true.
anticipate that coming into play, but it's a possibility.
I think that in this map, actually, the Zerg player has to be really, really cautious and defensive about what he's doing, because getting, found with your hands in the honey, it's quite possible. There are a lot of possibilities your army is actually out of position, since it's a pretty short distance map, but it's really, really large, in the sense that your bases are actually quite stretched away. So it's not super easy to defend. Taking into consideration also the fact that there are also a lot of high ground spots, and taking the most advanced mineral patches like the pocket fair base location and the one on the low ground. Yeah, those positions are really, really risky to take bases on. So you're better off just stretching your bases and dividing your army. But this means that the Zerg has to play a really, really defensive game. I think that aggression is the name of the game for a Terran on New Repugnancy, since there are a lot of pushes that could actually work like a charm in this map. And also a lot of proxies, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of options for Terran here.
Yeah, I actually agree.
Like, if they want to sit back on 3 bases, the third is pretty easy to hold.
Yeah.
If they want to play a Reaper opener, that's pretty abusable. If they want to play tank push, that's also very strong. Like, as long as you have a clear plan as the Terran, I think the map is very friendly to Terran that is at least conscious of their options on the map.
Yeah. I also think that actually Liberators are a little bit underused in this map location, since aside from being a huge spot in the main base in which you can actually hide your Liberator, there is also the spot between the natural and the third base location, and you can basically switch from the natural to the third base location in like a second with the Liberator and get a lot of damage done if the Zerg player is actually not super careful about it.
Okay.
But we're still waiting for our Terran player to actually come enjoy the fray. So in the previous 2 games, actually, the player who went for the most aggressive style was actually punished and lost the game. Do you think those 2 players will try and go for a more defensive style in the next match?
I don't really feel like... So, like, if we look at game 1, I feel like Sinner was like, okay, let me start things off with, like, cheesy opener, to, like, just throw him off. And it didn't really work out the way he planned, and he just kind of went into, like, okay, well, I guess I'll just macro game 2. So, like, I don't feel like I see anything that is terribly indicative of like specific mentality yet.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you on this. But okay, so Sinner actually disconnected because his lobby was actually bugged. So we're gonna wait a little bit more. Okay, here he is. Damn, that was fast. Oh, run chat. Okay, I'm going to make the lobby. I think it is actually bugged.
Okay.
So
It is actually bugged.
yeah, Sinner could not join into the lobby. Yeah, it's
bug?
always this the U guy making the lobby for the NA players, and then it's bugged.
That's clearly the problem.
Yeah, StarCraft is racist, guys. You heard this before.
I thought when they say that, they're usually referring to, like, the StarCraft races, not, like, human location, geographical.
Yeah, but, you know, stretching words is my name, so... Okay, so the lobby is once again bugged. So I'm just going to let Sinan make it. I have no clue why this happens, but it's actually pretty frequent when I host tournaments.
Okay, maybe it does hate you then.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
It's just you, though.
Yeah, you know, it's just like 3 Italians playing StarCraft in the world, and I'm one of them, and the other 2 are Rainer and oh, what is the other guy called? Oh gosh, I don't remember how he's called.
I can't help you here.
Yeah, but well, Rainer is the important one, so
yes.
Never mind. Okay, seems like we're finally ready.
Alas.
Yeah, we're going to game 3. Score is actually just tied. It was actually just tied by the Zerglot on game 2 on Cyber Forest, and now we're going into new repugnancy. I think we talked already a lot about this map.
Oh yeah.
But what if...
I mean, we could always talk more about it in other matchups, but...
Yeah, you have never played Zerg and never played Terran before, right?
No, I have not. Well, actually, no, I play Zerg once in a blue moon, like when I'm really bored.
Oh, I see. But anyway, let's get into business. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of New Repugnancy, already building a depot on the low ground, with decision, is our blue Terran. He is Sinner.
Well, okay. I'll tell us who the other player is, then I'll talk about that. In the bottom left, as the red Zerg, it is the Zerg Lord.
Okay, so what you wanted to tell us?
I think this is actually at least 2 racks opener. Cause like
Yeah, I think this is Mask Reapers, guys.
Yeah. So I said this is a good Reaper map, and I said we're probably not going to see it, and then I lied to you, apparently.
Okay, so yeah, just 2 racks on the low ground.
Yeah, I mean, he can even get a third one in the main if he wants.
Yeah, that's something that actually is getting a lot of success lately in TVZ, especially versus Hatch first build on a map like New Repugnancy, which is so short and still has such a good spots for Reapers. This is also a build that I actually see a lot of Kairos Junction and Kingscove for pretty much the same reasons. You know, just Reapers being extremely good on those maps. And, well, this is going to be a lot of Reapers anyway. No second guess actually taken yet by Sinner. I was expecting to see a second guess.
I want to say he has a little bit of time for it, but yeah, that is
not too much. I think he needs it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, here it is. Gets dropped right now.
Because didn't he take a really fast first gas?
Yeah, and actually the Zerglord is getting a third hatch right now. Leads are out, but yeah, you need stuff to kill these Reapers. You need a lot of stuff to kill those Reapers. So Reapers getting to the main already, trying to deal some damage, forces an Extractor cancel, and now the Reaper is just hacking and those links away. The Queen's getting into position, but now there are 2 Reapers to deal with. And suddenly this is not so easy anymore for the Zerglord that instantly starts another Queen. And okay, he's keeping on droning, so he's not actually too much scared about this. But I think he actually should be, since his overlords never scouted the ramp or Sinner. So he does not know what's coming at him.
Well, he should know after seeing this many Reapers.
Yeah, 6 lanes immediately started after this and are almost ready to get out. He's actually hiding those lanes to get into a better position, but I think you need Banes to actually deal with this. Like, you know, those blind spots in which like the Reaper tries to climb and then they found a lot of Banes waiting in them. Like,
I don't know. I would like Roaches more than Banes, because like Banes are like,
Banes don't end the game.
It takes a while for the Banes to get a connection. And without...
just Queens are making a lot of good work on those Reapers. Basically, nothing has died for the Zerglord until now. And the Sinner is really committed, actually starting +1 weapons as well.
Yeah, he's done a really good job with his Ling positioning and Queen positioning.
Yeah. And now this could be huge. The Reapers have nowhere to climb if they get surrounded. Okay, good grenades to actually disrupt this.
Now the Zerglord has a healthy Ling count. The Reapers are gonna come around for the other side though. So I think the Zerglord maybe missed.
What if he just moves out? He just goes on a counter.
I mean, it's not. I actually don't think that would help him, because everything can be repaired and the Reapers just come home, and like
okay, so
he has to catch the Reapers first.
Ooh. Reapers find the Zerglings, but it's more like the Zerglings found the Reapers.
Yeah.
Not too much happens, a lot of grenades. Now those Queens are actually going to show way, but not before a quick tumor get actually killed. The Lings once again on the low ground. I think he's trying to set up a first round, but I don't really know. He's back to joining, making Carapace. So that's a little bit weird.
He's still committing to Reaper production. I think he feels he needs more damage before he can transition. Oh, he's on 5 rocks.
Oh, another command center and Banelings are the tech shows.
Very committed to Reapers. I did not.
Yeah. He's a little bit too much committed. Maybe just almost always 5 Reapers at a time. One Queen actually gets picked up. Another one almost dies, gets picked off right now. The Lings try to go for a surround. They will get one of the Reapers, but the others are going to expect. Actually, not a single Reaper died in this attack. Another Queen goes down. I think Sinner, with the +1 timing attack with the Reapers, has actually done it. I don't see the Zerglord actually holding this without a healthy amount of Banelings. Right now, almost all of the Queens, actually all of the Queens have just died. There is nothing to defend those drones right now. Carapace is just halfway through. The drones are trying to get into a safe spot, but the Reapers are way too fast. Not a lot of Lings actually alive. They get a couple Reapers, but more and more are just coming from the base of Sinner that now is hacking away at this hatchery. Another Queen instantly gets killed after it was spawned. The hatchery is going to fall, and now those Reapers are actually committing even more to the attack, getting even the Evo Chamber, getting the cancel, and now they are once again on top of the drones. Not a lot of Lings out here, not a lot of Banes made just yet, and the Reapers are killing a lot of drones, a lot of Lings. Good surround by the Zerglord, by the DPS of those Reapers is crazy high. No chance for a Zerg player.
Yeah, the Banelings were never going to catch up with them. and
Yeah,
that was
you
really
kinda
his
need-
only thing that he had that could have dealt with that high number of Reapers after he lost the Queen count.
Yeah, you kind of have to like place the banelings on the high ground and hope that a higher amount of Reapers just tries to climb on that spot, and you can get some crazy good connections with that. But still, you kind of need to surround with lanes. Otherwise, you're not gonna go pretty far with this.
Right. I think, like, so part of the advantage of the Reaper build is that it has two different transitions. There's the 5 racks transition, which is less common, and we saw there. Or
Yeah.
I feel like it's less common. I think the stim
Yeah, it's
transition
really a
is-
lot less common.
Yeah. So there's also the stim one, and like it's almost comical why the 5 racks one can work, because like you're anticipating the stim, right? And so like you got to this point where you have enough lings to hold 3 racks production of Reapers, and then suddenly the Terran just says, "Oh no, I'm doubling down on Reapers. You don't have enough. I have +1 Reapers now. Okay." Time to win.
That amount of Reapers with +1 actually getting such a high DPS. That you were probably right. You kind of need roaches to handle that.
Yeah, at least in that, if it's that transition, I want to say, there might be I think if you just have enough lings and it's only the stim transition, it's okay, because like you can get the surround, you can get the banes, like you were mentioning, at the end of that. But in that scenario, I don't think that's sufficient. Anyway.
We're actually into game 4 of this series. Sino is on match point, but spawning instead in the top left-hand corner of Port Alexander. One hell of a long and big map. It's a red Zerg. Currently lagging 1 point behind, trying to tie the series. He is the Zerg Lord.
And to the bottom right, as the Blue Terran, with the 3 racks Reaper into 5 racks, it is Sinner.
Well. 16 hatch, nothing too uncommon. I see probably an SCV scout to just make sure nothing too crazy is happening right now.
He's definitely
And
been
actually,
favoring the SEV scout, like not wanting to skip it unless he was going for something super aggressive anyway.
yeah, it has actually became really common in TVZ. For a long while, no one was SCV scouting anymore, since the Reaper could come out so fast that it doesn't really matter. Just as soon as the SCV actually gets into your opponent base, the Reaper immediately gets out. But the fact is that a lot of people are actually doing this because you can easily delay a little bit the third base location, or just force your opponent to take a worse third base location. And this is really, really important in this matchup, since it actually makes up for the loss of mining time with the SCV. So this was actually a clash opening by the Zerglot. I really like it. It's a super macro-oriented build, since you actually delay link speed by quite a lot. But I basically do this in every single one of my ZVTs, since it nets you such a huge economy boost after like the first 2.5 minutes.
Four lings and a Reaper. Standard.
Now the Zerglord will not inject his natural. Instead, he has to make a quick tumor and actually defend it before the Reaper actually gets. Because you need to connect your bases to get a fast inject on all 3 of your bases. This is a really thought up build. It's called the Clash Opening, of course, because it's made by Clash players, and it was actually a build made by Lambo, and it's really, really good if the opponent goes for a heavy macro style. Okay, one of the creep tumors actually gets denied, but
nice.
actually, if the opponent goes for a really aggressive type of build, you're pretty much screwed. This is why you use it on maps like Port Alexander and King's Cove anyway.
Sure.
So right now instead, 1-1-1, Banshee Cloak once again for Sinner. If it ain't broken, don't fix it, right? So Metabolic Boost, almost done. As I said before, it actually kicks in like 30 seconds later. But, oh, so he cancelled the Bane Nest. What is this?
Well, the Reaper
Okay.
gets in and sees that there's nothing there.
Yeah, but, well, he didn't start it once again, so he's not going for a Bane Nest.
It almost feels like he cancelled it because it was scouted.
It could be. No,
Wings are gonna
Blind
get in.
Spokeler actually just started,
Wings on the
and
wall.
it was such a good decision to start a Blind Spokeler. 14 drones now in the making, and this Spokeler could be really, really helpful against those Banshees. Now the Lings are actually trying to get a little bit of a delay on the command center, but the tank is in a good position to actually shoot this away. Spokeler in position, gets moved into the middle line, and now the Queen is just trying to chip away at this Banshee, while in the meantime the Spokeler gets into position, and now the Banshee cannot get a lot of work done. Good decision by the Zergled, who actually started that blind Spokeler, and it paid off. No Banes, double Evo Chamber, and still no Lair. Okay, Lair just started.
Okay.
In the meantime, Sinner going for a heavy bio, tanks, and a Medivacs play. Steampack just started, and another barracks is going to go next to the Stack Club and start combo shields really, really soon. Third command center almost ready. This is really transitioning to a long macro game. Billy Nest started once again. Actually, the Zerglord has taken a lot of gas. He's mining from 5 Vesping geysers at the same time. That's a lot of gas before even having a lair.
You know, I think that
Is this
Bane
being
Nest
made,
was
yeah?
probably originally cancelled more likely because he saw that he didn't need to defend whatever he originally built it
Yeah,
for.
he probably wanted just to get a little bit of a more economic boost.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at where he's taken this, thinking back to that.
Baneling speed just started. Some Banelings on the way, and Hydra then. So no Spire, just the standard Lean Bane Hydra style. And now 2 Banshees are trying to get some little bit of more work done. No Hydras started just yet, of course, since the Hydra then is not over yet. It's not done yet, sorry.
I think he's gonna have to cancel that.
I don't think you have to cancel that. He has a healthy amount of queens,
Okay.
a lot of transfuses. He can probably just...
Yeah, you're right. The queen count is.
This was really, really close. But at the same time, Sinner with a double Medivac drop, that's super late, by the way. Because 16 Marines in 2 Medivacs at 7th minute is, of
He
course,
didn't
really,
do
really late.
a. It wasn't a
It wasn't a 2-1-1, of course.
Yeah, he opened with the Banshees, and so it's supposed to be 2-prong with the Banshees. I just don't know.
I don't know if you can get a lot of stuff
Yeah,
done with
I don't
it.
feel
These
like
are
this-
also the Spokeholders. So
I
it's
think
clean
there's some
with the
creep. I don't think it can come down the ramp too much because there's a
Oh,
lot
oh my
of
god.
Bane.
The Hydra Bane. Oh, okay. He actually loses almost all of those Marines, but almost gets the Hydra then, and that will be huge for our Terran player.
Yeah, Centrifugal Hooks is done, so like
Yep.
getting those connections is pretty simple now, as long as you're on creep. If you're taking the fight off creep, that's another matter, of course.
At the same time, I don't see Cena having a lot of stuff, just 2 tanks. right now to defend from any kind of... Oh, actually, he gets drilling close and widow mines. So that's the name of the game for Sinner. Actually going for a little bit of a attrition war, getting those widow mines into a good location to try and deal damage. But this can be such a double-edged sword. Like, getting shots on your own marines, it's easier than you think. Now he tries to set up his run on those marines, but the medivacs are actually going to save them all and get back into the third base location of the Sinner. Right now, the Zerglord has a healthy amount of Ling and Banes. +2/+2 on the way. Hydralis beginning. A hive, actually, just started.
Oh, wow.
So, the Zerglord actually trying just to rush a little bit of tech, since he has such a strong economy to actually pump out units really, really fast. Not going on the aggressive side of the match much yet, but he's adding a lot of links right now. He has something in his mind, that's for sure. So do you think he's gonna make a Spire or just Vipers?
I feel like from this position...
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
So it's Spire. The hive is done, no Vipers out yet. The Spire is on the way, no Ultra Cavern. He wants to hold a little bit, like try to deal a little bit of damage, just to reach to the point in which you can pump out some Broodlords and stuff like that. And actually, Adrenal Glands must be my favorite upgrade in the whole game. This upgrade is so important for Zerglings. They get such a huge DPS boost. Okay, right now Sinner moving out on the left side of the map, trying to get into a good spot with those widow mines. But the amount of Limbane Hydra that the Zerglord has is astounding. 34 Banes getting moved at the same instant I said this thing, and now some Marauders are trying to get these actually, while at the same time on the other side of the map 10 SCVs have actually died by a good counter, really good surround with the Limbane Hydra army. Most of the mines actually get killed. Oh my god, those Medivacs get shredded to bits by the Hydras, and there is suddenly not too much left for the Sinner. Spire is done, no greater Spire started just yet. The Zerglord knows he has the upper edge. He can actually attack as soon as his stuff is done. +3/+3 on the way. Adrenal Glands almost done. Greater Spire just started. Zerglord has this match in his grasp.
Yeah, that was really well executed. Good defense and counterattack at the same time.
Yeah.
And he just takes a commanding lead. The game basically from this point is his to lose, right?
Yeah. Look at the quick spread anyway at the meantime.
He
yes,
sees
creeping
everything.
his opponent base. He has to be a little bit more careful than this. He's going to lose a lot of links to those widow mines actually, but he has such a huge amount of them that probably doesn't care a lot anymore.
I mean, a lot of this is the result of just Sinner not being able to find any damage with his Banshees and
a lot of Banes are not getting good connections, but the widow mines...
matter?
Yeah, I don't think it does matter actually. There is no transition by Sinner. That is nothing to actually fix.
It is unfortunate he doesn't have an Overseer with this, so he can't clear the...
Well, actually, he had an Overseer, but Sinner actually focus-fired the Widow Mines on the Overseer. It was really, really clever by him.
Oh, okay. So it's unfortunate he lost his Overseer.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, +1 just started, 6 Corruptors. He has to free a little bit of supply, so he moves out a good chunk of his army to free some supply. And now probably all those 6 Corruptors are going to be made into Broodlords. At the same time, Fusion Core by Sinner. So at this point in the
needs
game, you
it,
have two
but
choices. Actually, you have three
it's-
choices. Either you get a lot of ghosts, either you get a lot of liberators, either you get a lot of battle cruisers.
I feel like range lib is actually would be a safer
Yeah.
option in this.
He has a reactor
position.
starport and tech lab 1, so he can probably go for both things. Get a lot of liberators out. They work so well with the wheel mines as well. Anyway, and fusion core just finished. I don't see range for liberators actually being researched yet.
It just started.
Oh yeah, it just started. So it's range lit. I think the Zerglord has been a little bit too passive, and now he made 40 links more. It just doesn't have a lot of use to 6 Bloodlust. It's not too much.
I think the
At the
mic
same
just
time,
killed you.
A little
You
bit
want
of a
to try
counter.
that again?
Sorry? Oh!
You want to repeat yourself? I think the mic went in and out when you were saying whatever.
Oh yeah, basically 6 Bloodlust is not enough to actually end this game. To be quite honest. It's not what you want to have at this point. You would like to have like 10 or more.
Well, he doesn't
But,
have a whole lot of mobile anti-air, or rather, I should change that. He doesn't have a lot of anti-air that's like gonna get past the Broodlord Hydra on their own. He is starting
just
Vikings.
The 3 Vikings, right now just 3 Vikings are way more than enough. The range of the Vikings is just so huge, you can't have those rulers just, you see, they're just a little bit too out on the map, they're taking 3 damage.
I don't like this angle that he's coming in from. His Hydras cannot support his Broodlords
Right.
correctly.
He has to break those rocks over here to actually
Right.
make it work with those bullets. Now the Vikings is perfectly safe to attack since the ranged liberators are defending them. One of the brutes actually died. Basically, 2 of them. Oh my god, this is huge. Almost all of the brutes actually died, and now the Paladins are trying to get connections, but the liberators are making
This is
clearing them so quickly.
really nice defense from Sinner so far. The Banelings could get
132 links just started, by the way, at the same time. 132 links. So the command center actually gets cleared, but just more and more links coming outside of the Zerglord base. And those Widow Mines, oh god! Ooh, nice split at the last time on those lanes. Now they're going to probably kill this planetary fortress right here. Or maybe not, actually. Liberators get into position, and now the links are being shooed away once again. Sinner is actually surviving quite convincingly.
The Zerglord did get that planetary, but it was very costly.
Yeah.
It should have gone down a lot smoother than that. But he still has more supply. He still has the larger bank.
The problem is, oh my god, such a huge Widowmine shot on the top side of the map right now. Fight from 2 sides in this moment. That's a good amount of Hydras, but oh gosh, those Banes on the SCVs, 17 SCVs just died.
Yeah,
And just one Liberator trying
We're
to
at
even the
that
score.
point where the Zerg has a large enough economy and a large enough production cycle where he can just donate enough Banelings to shut down a planetary. So the question becomes, how does Sinner actually secure a 4th base and develop his economy in such a way that he'll be able to take a late game or supreme late game fight? Like,
I think the answer is Liberators, and I think Sinner thinks the answer is Liberators.
I'm not entirely sure. It feels like he's not convinced his Liberators can properly deal with the Banelings. So this move out here feels like...
What a great attack by the Zerglord that gets from all sides, and now the Hydras get into the safe spot to try and kill those Liberators, and the army of Sinner is actually no more. Some good Widowmines shot, but is this enough?
This felt like desperation. This felt like Sinner said, I need to end this game because I will lose otherwise. And
just more and more lanes
didn't
coming
quite
from the
do
touch
it.
lane. The lane count just never stops increasing right now.
You know, actually, as I'm thinking about it, if we look back at that 6th Broodlord count that you were not very impressed by, I don't think he actually wanted Broodlords. I think he wanted to open up a transition for Mass Bane style.
Yeah, that's something I was actually thinking for the past 3 or 4 minutes this game has been going on.
Because he forced all these, he forced so many Vikings here, and what have those Vikings done after clearing the Broodlords?
Absolutely nothing.
Precisely.
I think that the game is going to end really, really soon. Sinner is just too,
broke.
Yeah, he's just broke. He's mining from just one base, and two of the other bases he's mining from are just almost emptied. And he just takes so much time to replenish the supply he loses from the Zerglord attacks that just even doesn't care anymore. He just aims all of his limbs into this bio army. The Hydras are eventually going to get cleared by the Liberators, but there is basically too much Lean Bane to maneuver those Liberators around. And look how many SCVs just died. There are only 13 workers right now. The bio army gets shredded by the Zerglord Lean Bane style, and the game is about to end. Trust me on these words. Those Liberators are trying to find some good spots on which they can kill and clear the army of the Zerglord, but in the same time starts 17 Corruptors to make sure the game is going to end. And now with 17 Corruptors out, there is no way those Vikings and Liberators can get stuff done anymore.
Yeah, these have been some really nice tech switches.
Yeah, he has been so clever for the whole game. Last two, Air just started for the Zerglord as well. The Sinner is just committing too much stuff to actually try and kill this hatchery. I mean, he will eventually do this right now, kill some drones as well, but now this round that the Zerglord can eventually get on top of this army while killing every Liberator and Viking with the Corruptors. And here it starts the huge battle that is going to end this game. There is just too many Corruptors. Vikings are dying one after the other. The Liberators are trying to get stuff done, but there are not enough. Sinner GG's out of this game, and the tie is once more.
Really well played.
Really, really clever. Such a nice game, anyway. I'm really impressed. You know, sometimes you do not need Broodlords to end the game.
Yeah, he basically, he got Broodlords, yes, but that had nothing to do with the actual...
Yeah, he was just getting more and more Lean Bane.
Yeah,
at that point, there was this moment in which he made 132 lanes.
Yeah, it was just it was all a front, a setup, right? Hey, I have 6 Broodlords. You better make it Vikings, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was so clever. Anyway, we're waiting for you to get into the game. Okay, we're ready. We're going to get into Game 5. First series of the day already. Going to go to the very last game. Kingscope.
Oh, nice large map. But also very, a lot of people are fond of, proxies here.
Yeah, but I think the reason for this is that maneuvering your army on Kingscope is actually so hard.
Okay.
You know, there are a lot of ledges, a lot of rocks, lot of spots that are really huge, a lot of high ground spots that are really huge, lots of those like high grass that can cover your units. So that it's so hard to actually maneuver in this map, but that's probably the beauty of it. It's such a good defensive map.
Sure.
Anyway, the score is tied. Spawning in the top left-hand corner, trying to end this series with a victory and get into the finals, is our blue Terran. He is Sinner.
And to the bottom right, as the red Zerg, it is the Zerdlorg.
Okay, so no proxies, no early pool.
Yeah, very...
I think they are gonna embrace the nature of this map.
Yeah, I feel like... oh, maybe I was about to speak too soon. Oh wait, no, this is just the normal pathing. It just has weird pathing, like this one and Cyber Forest.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think given the nature of the series, how it's gone, I think Sinner is, or both players are gonna look for a macro game, but I think Sinner might want to do something with stronger mid-game timing. Like,
what about a 2-2 mech timing?
That's not really a... I mean, that is still technically late game or mid-game, but it's like edging on late game. I feel like you want something sooner than that.
It's still a really strong build anyway.
Yeah, I think... Like, if we look at the last game in particular, what happened was he had some nice early game harass in terms of the Reaper and the SCV, but once he got into the Banshee play and the... Oh, okay. I guess that's an acceptable third.
Yep.
Once he got into the Banshee and the double medevac drop, he just wasn't really able to find any good openings, and I think he may want to avoid that by hitting before, I would say, that 7-minute mark.
I see what you mean. This could possibly be like Helmet timing. Oh no, okay. No.
I think it's
there's just too many Marines. There's too many Marines.
He has two racks. This is 2-1-1.
Yeah, this is 2-1-1.
So that's 5-minute timing. So
yeah, that's a 5-minute timing, but it's actually, you want to deal a lot of damage if you want to transition into something else. If you just want to go like bio and more bio and more bio, I guess it can be helpful.
Yeah, okay, so
Pisco is such a huge map. Maneuvering with medivacs is
a
not
couple
that
different
easy.
ways. He can play it very aggressively and like behind the two racks just go for more bio and continue into this extended 2-base play. He can play it kind of passively, set up for use the medevac drop just to clear creep for a tank push, and then like tech heavily behind it and take a quicker third.
I think this could deal a huge amount of damage for two reasons right now. First reason is Roach War, and Roaches are not that easily maneuverable in the third base and the natural being so distant from one another.
Right.
And the second reason is, of course, just the location of this third base. You know, it's super bad in this scenario. Since
I feel like this...
it's just like, too hard.
Generally speaking, when a Zerg takes a third, they have option of either expanding in a line or expanding closer. And on this map...
There are some exceptions. But...
Yeah, on this map, there isn't really an alternate third location because...
No. Exactly.
The other third, which we see here, which is in the line, is also like a very easy drop path back into the natural while having that long ground path. So this is going to be a little bit awkward for the Zerglord to...
And you actually don't have vision between those. For a long time, you don't have a vision of the
Yeah,
between
those
the
bushes, you're
info.
right. Can be very annoying. I like these two Hellions. They're kind of giving a miss.
Yeah, but
It's
actually
kind of a
Zerglord
red
is
herring.
pretty committed.
Yeah.
That's a pretty committed attack. You know, having 38 workers at the 5th minute mark.
I guess if you're gonna take this
know.
third,
Yeah,
it's
you have
like,
to deal some damage.
right. Okay, so this is the more passive.
He's actually scaring the Sinner to stay home right
Yeah,
now.
he's not moved out with his double medevac drop at the time that he would have. Taking a third and just like staying at home, worried about that roach count, that Ravager.
He actually scared the Sinner into making a defensive tank as well.
Wow. Okay.
He's now making another one, but well, that was a good usage of roaches. You know, just forcing those reactions is way more than enough for you to actually go back into macroing, getting a lair, getting your double Evo chambers, getting more gases.
How
I think
many,
Zerglord has done a really clever. Oh, he has 5 gases right now.
I guess this was... He had to make some sort of defense, so...
Yeah, now Sinner actually tries to move out, but the amount of roaches and ravagers up there is way more than enough to actually help with this. Okay, so +1 ranged, roaches speed, and +1 carapace starts basically at the same time. +1 attack and armor for Bio starts for Sinner. So it's going to be ranged versus Bio. And now a little bit of an engagement starts in the third base location on the Zerglord. Eventually the Marines get shoot out, but a quite hefty amount of roaches has been killed in this. Oh, an infestation pit. Is this Womos?
I wouldn't mind it, particularly on this map. You have a lot of retreat path.
Yeah, a lot of ledges. Like,
yeah, a lot of ledges, and
if you kill the rocks, actually the rush distance is not so huge anyway.
Right.
But you have to kill those rocks. It's really, really important to kill those rocks if you want to go for Swarmos, and you kind of have to have a little bit better creep spread. And Banelings just don't really fit into this style.
Well, it doesn't have to be Swarmhouse. He hasn't made one yet.
Yeah, and he has made a hive.
Oh, okay. So, I guess he just wants to rush to higher
late game back. Yeah. He's actually not off wrong into doing this, since the Sinner is actually just getting more and more tanks. He's just playing the defensive map and sensor towers as well. So, as you know, when you see a sensor tower on the map, you can just popping out. You can, as a Zerg, I usually think, okay, he just finished the sensor tower, so he's probably going to stay home for a while longer. And I actually feel pretty safe when I see a sensor tower. Anyway,
just double expand.
Yeah, why not? Fun thing is that he has not taken his pocket third location. He's just expanding on the more closer expansion.
I mean, his creep won't mind, but it's kind of awkward for the drop paths, but he hasn't really seen a whole lot of drop play coming out of Sinner this entire series, so...
Actually, outshot Kevin.
Well, he rushed to this...
To Archers. Ravager's Archers. You know why this comp is not often seen? It's because Ravagers are so huge, Archers actually don't go past them. And right now, the bio army of Sinner can actually deal pretty easily with this amount of Ravagers. You have to get on top of the tanks, but the more you go back, the more the tanks are going to be spread out anyway. You're gonna take the high ground, and now it's basically impossible to break. I think Sinner is eventually going to get this base. All the tanks are shooting at the Ravagers at once, and basically the army of Zerglord is melting through the shots of those tanks and those Marines. Now, the Queens are trying to help, but the Zerglord has just piled his own roaches. No links out. just 4 archers are being made at this one time. I think the Zerglord can afford to lose one base, but cannot afford to not mine from this third base location where
No,
the
this is
Liberator actually
disastrous.
happened.
He
Oh
got
my god, those Liberators. Oh my god.
he got the 2 tanks on the low ground, but he lost pretty much everything that was out at the time.
He's getting into the main as well. He's gonna deny the other 4th base. He's getting into the main. Probably Adrenal Grunts will not finish. Ultras are almost coming out. Now they are ready. They're eventually going to clear this, but at what cost? Okay, so the 2 tanks die. Another base gets denied by the Zerglord that is actually falling behind in both workers and army. The Ultras are going to help with this, but there is nothing to kill the Liberators at this moment.
Nah, the anti-air was largely in the Ravagers, which all died already.
Yeah.
So this is
There are not enough bios to one-shot the Liberator right now. And Zerglord is just desperately trying to find somewhere safe to mine on. But there is basically nowhere you can mine.
Yeah, I mean, his main doesn't have a lib, I guess, but
Yeah. It was just over as soon as the Cena moved out. Really good play by Cena. But
I felt like maybe if he had given up that 4th a little bit sooner and like not committed in, like, I think committing into 4 tanks with 2 of them on the high ground and a nice concave was not going to ever work.
I think the reason I don't really like Roach Ravager against Terran anymore is because you kind of relying on, getting an instantly good engagement. If your first engagement is so-so, the opponent actually just snowballs into having better tank placement, having like good positioning with his bio army, and you can just get more and more stuff through. Even it reaches to a point in which even getting a couple of tanks is not enough for the damage you actually take. And the switch to Ultras is actually clever because, actually with bios and roaches, your DPS can be crazy high. You can kill some units really quickly if you need to, while the Ultras are actually tanking for all of the damage. But Ultras take quite a lot of time to get into work. You need +3 Carapace, well, at least +2, and you absolutely need both upgrades for Ultras to actually work.
Well, before we get into our next series, I'd like to tell you about GameStop. It's given power to the players, and now it's bringing power specifically to the esports players. As part of its new program, it features coaching for some of the world's most prominent teams, and you can visit their website to find out more, compete in the Maturino quest. Compete may not be the... Complete! There we go. Complete the Maturino quest, and increase the prize pool that way. I think Starkiller said he...
Yeah, he is taking a minute.
Okay. And
I think those 2 guys were waiting for us for quite a long time. Our first series actually has taken 1 hour.
Yeah, that was quite a long one. So we're gonna go from a ZVT to ZVP.
Yeah. It actually became my favorite matchup right now.
Okay.
And I'm so glad I get to see Starkiller play a ZVP, because I think Starkiller's playstyle is the one I look up to the most. I just look at a lot of his games and try to get his builds, his super aggressive builds, like super committed, and those sharp transition. It's just the way I play the game, and so I'm really okay. I'm really looking forward to this. So our first map will be Port Alexander. Port Alexander is a really huge map. It can be really good for night display, but I don't actually think it's going to do something really aggressive in the first game. Pacomike is known as a Stargate player, so he might go into Stargate.
He's also known to build Colossus in this matchup, which is like, it's not terribly uncommon, but it's not the standard. Like, he's not the only one that does it, I mean to say.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Port Alexander is quite good for Colossi as well.
Yeah. I feel like it may not be as strong against specifically Starkiller's style.
Yeah. But Starkiller gets a lot of links anyway.
That's true. I think also of him as a Roach player, though, so... I mean, the better question is, what does Starkiller not make?
That's an interesting question. Well, I'm going to make my bet right here, right now. Just mark my words. This is going to be Nidus Foremost.
Okay.
That's my bet.
Okay.
That's also my favorite build, so it can be biased.
The truth comes out, alas.
Okay. Shall we start with introduction?
Alrighty.
Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Port Alexander, already going for an extractor cancel on 15-14. Ling Rush. This is Starkiller. Okay, no Ling Rush. He started an Overlord.
And to the bottom right as the blue Protoss. It is Paco Mike.
Okay. Extractor first. Overlord. Spawning pool. 16 pool. Oh. And now he types Gulag fun. This guy is the devil, by the way. In case you didn't know. Still no natural. Is he going to get a Painling Nest? Okay, so the probe will get into position to probably... He can block. Okay, no. Starkiller actually avoids any possible block by the probe. Spawning pool is on the way. He knows it's a pool first build. Well, he thinks it's a pool first build. In reality, it's an instructor first build. So Starkiller could possibly have enough resources to actually start a Painling Nest or a Roach Warren and pump out a lot of units. At the same time, Pacomike is going for a Nexus versus Cybernetic, a Gateway Expand. So Nexus versus Cybernetic score second. Oh my god. This is a rare.
Yeah. This could be this could be like a 330 Nidus.
It could be that, yes. Well, it is almost certainly that, to be quite fair. Well, that was so sharp as well. The cybernetic score just finished, and Starkiller already has his flare halfway through. He doesn't even have his archery done. But kill scouting by Pacomike that gets to see the double gas as well as the lair.
Yeah,
and now
nice.
he immediately starts a robotics facility. Really, really good. The Adept is almost out to get a scout. Warp starts. The Stalker will try avoid Overlord Vision. But now that the lair is done, I don't see an Nidus starting yet. I see Spawning Pool researching Metabolic Bruce. Okay, the Nidus just started. No Queens. Okay, the Overlord is getting on the far side of Pacomike natural base. He has actually no vision on this side. The Adept is trying to getting something scouted. He gets a couple links. He sees the Nidus network. And now Pacomike is probably, he sends a probe out, and he's probably going to make a pylon here really soon. Oh, no?
I think he just wants to patrol probe. He needs the...
Here it is. Now that the swarm has been detected, is almost halfway through.
He doesn't have any.
The Immortal is not ready yet. The probes get cold.
This is gonna go up.
God. The Nidus will go up. It will eventually get cleared, and these probes are great. Oh my god, the Immortal is getting focused. The probes are in a good position to defend the Immortal, but this is a lot of links out, and I don't think Pacomike handled this in the most perfect way he could. Starkiller gets game 1.
His Immortal was just slightly too late, and he didn't pull, because his Immortal wasn't out already, he had to pull probes, but, the reaction to all of that was just a tiny bit behind.
Yeah.
He had all the information he needed.
Everything that was happening.
Yeah, he saw everything. There's no there's nothing to say that he didn't know it was coming. He saw the fast lair, he got the follow-up scout to confirm that it was in fact Nidus, and not I don't know, 2 base muta, or and he saw the his probe saw the Nidus head trying to come up. So at every juncture he had the map vision at minimum. Whether his attention was there, whether he was thinking of the right things, I don't know. But for sure, he knew. So, a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah. But still, quite a good play by Starkiller as well. Yeah. His timings were really, really sharp.
Yes. Those are very clean timings. And his Ling movement, as soon as they got out, was very good.
Yeah.
Isolating the Immortal away from the Nidus so that it could not shoot down the first one, getting up a second Nidus immediately. Just all those details.
Okay, Starkiller didn't make me ref, but it's okay. Never mind. New Repugnancy is going to be our second map of this series.
But did you say please this time?
Oh, I wrote I love you. I thought that was not.
Don't you understand? Don't you understand? It's not enough to commit your love. You must also pay respect.
Oh, okay. So I should just press F or do something. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of New Repugnancy, once again 15-14 build, but this is... oh no way. Is this a proxy edge? Okay, I should stop just following the drones of this guy. Yeah. It's Starkiller.
Okay, in the bottom left, as the blue protons, it is.
I got my revenge. Yeah, it's a proxy hatch.
Well done, well done. Okay, so...
Oh, God.
Proxy hatch, I feel this is a really nice location for it because, it just doesn't get scouted.
By the first probe, yes. Yeah. You cannot scout it with the first probe.
And then...
And you cannot even scout it with the eye ground vision. So you just have to really go into that location to see.
Yeah.
Actually.
He also is not... This is a good follow-up from Game 1, too. So, Game 1, there's no low-ground hatch.
Yeah, but Pacomike saw a really low drone count in the main of Starkiller. Okay, 3 drones are going to be sent out. Oh, will he scout it? No, he won't. To become 3 spine crawlers. Oh, Pacomac is going to scout it really soon, but it won't be soon enough. Okay, the archery is done.
So,
and now... Oh. Starkiller is saving minerals to start those spine crawlers. 2 on the way. So Stalkers is the good reaction. A Forge, I really like that as well. 3 spine crawlers. Oh gosh. Some Lings are getting out as well. And okay, Pacomac, as I said, probably the better... Oh, this wall is not a wall.
I think it is now, but it wasn't yet until...
It wasn't with the probe, yes.
Yeah. Well, the probe was too far back. The probe needed to be farther forward. Cannon is going to go up. I like the location of everything. I just wish that he had some tech. Okay, he does have
he starts to build robotics facility, but...
I don't know if
it is good to deal with the spine crawlers. There are not enough queens out yet. So this is Bly's build against Neeb.
Okay.
So Bly versus Neeb game 3, that has been quoted as one of the best games ever in StarCraft history.
So I've heard. I haven't seen it quite yet.
It was a crazy game, and the build was pretty much identical until now. And basically, Starkiller is doing the same that Bly tried to do. It was killing everything in the wall before moving out, but there were not any cannons in that in the reaction of Neeb. So the game could play out really differently right now. I really like the Crypt Tumor position.
Yeah, it's far back enough that it won't go down, but it's close enough that it will advance the creep and allow him to get a better angle on all the structures. Basically, the Protoss loses the match when he cannot build stuff because there's too much creep. That's when the Protoss actually loses. But this Stalker in the high ground, both cannons attacking at the same time, the shield battery saving those cannons, the mortals on the high ground hacking at the spine crawlers. At least one of the spine crawlers will fall. Those Lings are actually doing a lot of damage. One of the cannons get focused, but one of the spine crawlers dies as well. Just one spine crawler arrive in this moment. Double cancel on the 2 pylons that Pacomac tried to build. Now one of these pylons will die, but there are 2 more. And, well, 3 photon cannons and a shield battery. Oh no, yeah. Yeah, this is another photon cannon. It's not a shield battery. So having to remake that Cyber means that he doesn't have Stalker production, which he would really like. For
yeah, but the Immortal production is probably
the Immortal production is enough. It's just kind of one of those things that would have been nice to like help push back some of this.
So 3 more spine crawlers actually from Starkiller that is trying to devour the Forge probably.
Yeah,
he will not devour the Forge, but he will just try to get the spine in position. Okay, he can actually attack the Forge, pretty much uncontested. And having less photon cannons to deal with, it's quite good. But now 2 Immortals can pretty much destroy even 4 spine crawlers.
He's getting an Observer next, and I feel like...
Yeah, he needed. He kinda needed. But just 2 queens have a lot of energy anyway.
I don't know. I would have preferred Warp Prism actually, because now the Lings
try to get in position. Now a lot of Lings try to go through. The Sentry gets picked off immediately, and now those Lings can just go wreak havoc in those mineral lines. Oh gosh. If he gets the robotics facility, I think the game is pretty much over.
Yeah.
Those 3 motors are really boost, and 11 probes just died. He actually tries to get the Nexus.
So he cannot defend this Nexus because he does not have a Warp Prism. Had that Observer been a Warp Prism, then he could Immortal Micro.
But do you like this? A Twilight Council? Does he want to get Dark Templars out? Does he think Dark Templars are what he needs?
I mean, he doesn't even have warp tech.
Yep, he gets denied. And
So-
his main base gets completely sacked. He has only one immortal and a lot of cannons and shield batteries. Okay, so he's getting charged.
Okay, that makes slightly more sense.
It does, since Zealots can come outside of these gateways quite easily, and there is no cybernetic core to make anything that is not a Zealot anyway. Okay, cybernetic core just gets started. Now, I think Starkiller actually wants to transition into something else. I don't know if he can win the game right here. Okay, so the Immortal almost gets picked off. Oh gosh, this shield battery is actually doing a lot of work.
There's actually only one shield battery, so it is conceivable. Or, no, he has a second one. Never mind.
Actually, Starkiller has probably listened to my advice since he's getting another hatchery and he's back to droning. Oh, he almost gets the surround on the Immortal as well. Those links in the main are going to be really useful. Now, oh my god, the surround! Oh gosh. This is going to be really close. I think he wasted those links since he could have used them to get the surround on the Immortal. But even at this point, I don't think he actually wants to do much more anymore. He just wants to block Pacomite from expanding. You know, Queens have a lot of energy. Transfuse going on the one in the Spine Crawler, but it's still going to fall. And now I think the proxy of Starkiller has been officially broken. The Queens try to go to the main and they will not be chased. So 2 drones coming outside of these 2 lava. And Pacomite expands once again back into his main. So the Bullings are trying to focus down the Zealot, but they will not manage to do so. A little bit of damage. Now that the Warp Prism is out, I think Starkiller needs those 2 Queens back home. Pacomite will not see them, I think. Yeah, he does not see the 2 Queens walking back home, but he still will drop into the main. And the Roach will run against Robotics Facility.
I actually like Pacomite's position suddenly.
Yep, I do as well.
Like,
the Storm Motors can actually wreak havoc. Now the drones actually get pulled to try and get this around the Storm Motors, but the Warp Prism Micro will be so important in this scenario. Only 2 drones actually die, 3 right now. The Lynx get out, try to get a little bit of surround. There are no more shields on these motors. But still, 3 drones damage into this scenario is nothing to look down upon.
Well, so other than the Queens, he has nothing that can actually contest the Robo units here. So
okay, so another drone actually gets picked off. And those Lings are not actually in a good position to deal with this. Some more Roaches are coming out. They will be extremely good versus the Archons, but they will not be really good against the Immortals.
Okay. There are, at least with the Roaches, that's gonna deter charge lot support. So, like, had he gone for...
he's still hiding his amount of Roaches, but now the Observer sees pretty much everything that's happening. There is no lead, there is no...
he's getting Ravagers. This is a really nice timing that he's
oh gosh,
hitting where...
Yeah, but I think Pacomite has just what he needs. Okay, the Ravagers actually get through, and he needs to buy down this Warp Prism, otherwise he will never win this game. Those Archons will just shred through the lanes. And now, with some bios, he tries to get on top of the Immortals. Those Ravagers are trying their best to actually deal with the Archons and Immortals at the same time. The drones gets pulled off, they get one Zealot, now the Ravagers are getting killed one by one. And suddenly Starkiller has nothing anymore. Good job by Pacomite that ties up the score. Well, well. What a game. So I'm kind of curious what our next map will be. Since at this point, with a double cheese by Starkiller, one worked off, the other didn't. What do you think he's going to do on a map such as King's Cove?
I mean, why not go back to Nidus?
On King's Cove, I think King's Cove must be the worst map ever for a Nidus build.
There's not a lot of space for it, you're right. But,
yeah, aside from that, the distance between all three bases is incredibly short. They are so close to each other.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, the distance from the third to the main is not that bad.
Yeah, but if you get a Nidus build to hit a third base, you're just going to make a Nidus build at around 6-7 minutes. So I think the Protoss will have enough stuff to deal with it at that point. So it could be a Swarmos build. But I don't really think Nidus will be the name of this game.
Yeah, no, unlikely. I don't see Starkiller as the type of person to recycle a build.
Okay, once again we distract the Shriek anyway. He has done the Extractor Shriek 3 times in a row.
Well, that's an opening, not a build.
Well, it kind of sets up from some very precise builds.
Sure.
But anyway, let's do the introductions. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove, it is a red Zerg. Just being tied up in the score is Starkiller, who is going for a notch first.
And to the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, it is Paco Mike.
What am I seeing? Is this a standard build?
Oh, this is a wall. This is just a funny kind of wall where you use the pylon for the third building will complete the wall with the pylon. So the opening will be towards the third.
I see.
So yeah, his cyber goes there, and then he builds another gateway or a Stargate to complete the wall with a pylon. Essentially, he's telegraphing that he will, in fact, take the third at the normal location.
Yeah.
That's all it does. Well, and it also means that like you're slightly safer against early pressure because it has to go all the way around instead of just.
But actually, it's what are we? Starkiller went 3 arches before pool.
I mean, it is King's Cove.
Did Serval took control of Starkiller's computer? Well, it's it's basically the opposite of his playstyle. Getting 3 arches is such a greedy.
I've seen him do this before, so I'm not terribly surprised. Like, he's not... Starkiller, playstyle-wise, yes, he's an aggressive Zerg, but he's also someone that plays to the map. So, given all of that, I don't feel like at this point, I'm not surprised.
I see. Anyway, are you following my camera or not following yours right now?
It's currently on your camera.
Okay, I see. Oh, anyway, this adept is trying to get a little bit of a scout. He only sees there's a lot of droning going on in this moment. Not a lot of lings out. So, Paco Mike is going for a dark shrine of his own.
Okay.
And, well, that's a lot of stuff next to that pylon anyway.
I don't know how the DT drop into Archons lines up against the 3 hatch before pool. I feel like there's nothing particularly unique to it, as like you're still gonna have all the things you need as a Zerg in time. Getting that Adept is nice.
Yeah, it's a good catch. Really good catch. Warp Prism is on the way as well.
This is a good scout.
Yeah, that's a really good scout. 3 Spore Crawlers immediately started by Starkiller. That starts 3 Spine Crawlers next to them as well. I think those Dark Templars are not going to do basically anything, since also Roach Warren immediately starts for Starkiller. That's playing the reactive macro game, and I really liked it.
Well, the nice thing about the DT drop into Archons is that you don't have to kill your opponent with it. It's not like the charge model, in which looks very similar at the start, where like you're committed to this 2 base timing. Instead, you can go into Archons and you can take a third and set up for maybe a +2 ICA attack or something else down the road if you like. We'll see exactly where he goes with this. Upon seeing the static defense, I anticipate him backing off immediately. Yeah, he's actually going to commit.
He's actually microing those Dark Templars, and he's not losing a single one yet. He's killing a lot of drones. One of them gets actually picked, 2 of them, and I think all of them will actually eventually get picked. They get 10 drones and a queen, 12 drones, 13 drones and a queen.
Well then.
I call that a success.
Yeah.
A little bit of a sloppy micro, maybe, by Starkiller on this occasion. Probably
I think
just
Starkiller anticipated him to just back off.
Yeah.
And wasn't like I did. I think we both kind of were like, oh, he'll just back off now, right?
He just focused the Warp Prism to avoid that, but now more Dark Templars are getting into position, and Lings and drones do not trade quite good against Dark Templars. Now 4 Roaches on the way, and immediately attack switch from Pacomike, who's going into Blink Stalkers.
Okay. It's a little bit unusual, but the comeback mechanic for Zerg in this position is probably Muta, because there wasn't a Stargate, and you did just suffer
either
considerable drone
Somos that are both kinda good, kinda bad against Stalkers anyway, so...
Okay.
You know, you can't really play Somos against Blink Stalkers, since they will just blink away from Locusts.
Or blink on top of the... on top of the Storm Host later.
That's, like, super aggressive, but it can work, yes. Now 2 Archons actually merging in the right side of Starkiller's base. Roaches will probably deal with this quite nicely, but this is all... Wait a moment, he brought all of his army, that's 2 Immortals, 4 Sentries, 2 Stalkers and 2 Archons. This can deal with this little amount of Roaches pretty good. I think this base is eventually going to fall, and more Stalkers actually get whipped in. Killed force fields to try and get away, to try and divide those Roaches. Now the Archons are shredding to bits those drones, and now getting on top of the Roaches as well. More force fields to divide the forces of Starkillers, and Immortals are just getting crazy damage. 11 kills on one, 5 kills on the other. Drones gets pulled, but Stalkers and Immortals are eventually... Oh my god, these are Zealots. 20 workers die in this attack. It eventually will get cleared, I think, or maybe not. I don't think this will get ever cleared. I think Pacomike did it. He broke through. Blink just finishes. There are a lot of Roaches, but Blink deals bonus damage against Roaches. Still not enough, maybe, to actually deal with this. Fast Roaches will never catch up to Blink Stalkers, but I think Starkiller is probably going to go all in to this right now. +2 Raged starts as well. He's back to droning, but this is a huge amount of Roaches who's walking all along the side of the map. Quite a good amount of Stalkers as well.
This is a
good amount of
3 base
sentries.
Protoss with 2 Immortals and 3 Sentries. I don't think... Yeah, okay, he is going to turn
he
around.
can never break through, especially without Ravagers. And at the same time, the 2 Zealots that were saved before in the attack are now being dropped into the natural of Starkiller. forcing quite the reaction. 3 Dark Temples as well get cancelled immediately by Paco Mike as soon as he sees the huge amount of roaches. We just return them back home. And now the game pretty much standardized, but Paco Mike has quite a huge advantage. He has his fourth base going, he has +2 weapons.
I think when the Protoss is starting the 4th base before the Zerg is starting the 4th base, that's not exactly a comfortable position.
It is definitely not, and more damage dealt by Paco Mike with this Warp Prism that has built up such a strong value all over the game. Hydras though, Hydras are pretty good against everything Paco Mike is doing right now.
I mean, yes, but how is he going to get a Hydra count in a sufficient number to challenge this?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to move outside of creep as well. Since
but he has to defend his 4th.
Hydras.
If he loses his 4th... Okay, well...
Okay, he can't switch. Now 2 adepts are shading once again into the mineral lines, I think. Okay, the Hydras actually catch up to the... Okay, no, they do not.
Oh, he is not aware that Paco Mike has a 4th base of his own. So, while he cancelled his 4th, I think he thought it was okay. And I just don't see a scenario in which, like, even if he were to defend this...
I think he eventually will defend this. Because he has quite a healthy amount of Hydras, 11 Hydras in the making, but he has just lost 12 drones, 13 drones.
Like
in the main, to 2 adepts. That's way more than you want to lose. Now he's trying to go on Rambo on his army. He has a lot of Hydra production right now, but losing what he has right now is not what he wants.
Well, I mean, there are just no good options. He's down a base. He's down more than a base worth of workers, and
he has to
this
keep
is
the
all he
Prism
has.
anyway. Okay, the Prism eventually gets sniped.
Okay,
he has a lot of Hydras,
that is the
I
first...
don't think Paco Mike can break through, but this Witch...
Getting the Prism is probably the...
Last week, and 2 Colossi started by Paco Mike. That is probably going to end this game as soon as he moves out once again after the recall.
Yeah, getting the Prism is probably the first thing that went right for him in this game.
Yeah, but right now he has to defend against 2 Thermal Lens Colossi with just, I think, 3 Thermal Lens Colossi. With just Roach Hydra Ravager.
I mean, at least he has a couple roaches in there, but otherwise this... Does he? Are they all Ravagers?
I think they are all Ravagers.
There's 1 roach. 2 roach.
4 roaches. 4 roaches.
4 roaches. Okay. So he has 4 units that will not insta-die to the thermal lance.
Let's make it 7. Okay, let's make it 1. And now Paco Mike is moving out with a healthy amount of sentry. There is a lot of energy on these sentries as well. And Blink Stalkers, Colossi, Dark Templars. This is not an army you want to face with pure Roach Ravager.
No.
Sorry, Hydra Ravager.
Okay.
I mean, it's getting a good concave, but you need to snipe the Colossi with Biles, and that's really, really hard. Like, almost impossibly hard to do.
They do like to dance.
Yeah. And Stalkers with that blink are just gonna nullify the Ravagers. I think actually Roaches would have been way better than Ravagers in this scenario.
Ugh. I think like maybe 4 Ravagers and the rest are Roaches is fine.
Yeah, just to snipe the Prism.
Yeah.
Anyway, double Stargate started back home and Templar's Archive.
Oh, that's such a good transition behind this because like...
Yeah, but it's just like, you know, like a safeguard because I think the game is gonna end here and now. I don't see Starkiller having enough to deal with the Colossi. They did not even take damage. Stalkers are blinking outside of danger every time the army of Starkiller starts to bruise them. And I think the buys are actually pretty good, but with this micro, the Stalkers are just never going to die. Starkiller knows that, and he GG's out of the game. Paco Mike takes the lead. Well, well. What a plot twist. So our next map is going to be Kairos Junction.
Okay.
Good build for triple expand. Good build for a lot of stuff.
I will be
Very
right
good
back.
map, sorry. Of course. No, do you want me to tell the guys to wait a little bit? I guess he does. So we're going to Kairos Junction for this fourth game of this series, of this best of 5. Pacomike leading 2-1 right now. And well, I think Starkiller wants to do something to actually try and even up the score before it's too late. So, once again the extractor trick by Red Zerg, but let's start with the introductions. I know Xenos camera will not zoom in, but spawning in the top left-hand corner of Kairos Junction we have a Red Zerg. He is Starkiller. Yeah, with a zoom. It's okay. I'm waiting for Microcaster to actually introduce the next player. Oh wait, he gave me the camera command anyway. Oh gosh, Starkiller with a proxy edge in the natural of Pacomike. Anyway, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of the one insane Kairos Junction, we have a blue Protoss. He is Pacomike. So the proxy edge is here just to delay Pacomike's expansion, just to mess with him. Actually, what Starkiller wants to do here is going for a pretty aggressive build and try to delay any possible income advantage for the blue Protoss player. Now, Pacomike knows that something is probably going to go his way into his side of the map, so he makes another pylon to actually try and hold this wall up. The archery is almost going to fall. I don't know if Starkiller is eventually going to finish this archery or is he going to cancel it before it is done. I think he's going to cancel it and make an Evo chamber soon after, using the immediate creep that making us building had. That was incredibly clever, but as a player that instead in his main base is going for lanes, is going for a queen, is going for a archery on his 4 base location. And right now the journey gets eventually cleared and Nexus starts for Pacomike, but Starkiller is already in quite a good position. This drone in the main is still trying to mess with Pacomike a little bit. Now the Adept is going to chase him and probably kill him. Yeah, with this double shot is going to kill the drone. No more scouting for Starkiller. The wall of Pacomike is not yet wall, but there are not a lot of links to actually exploit it.
Third base going down for Starkiller in
you're back.
natural location. Indeed I am.
I didn't know. Also, Stargate is the tech choice of Pacomike. At the same time, I don't see Starkiller going for a heavy amount of drones yet. He's just gonna stay on 20 for a while longer. He's making more and more links.
These two lings did get in and scout everything, the Stargate, and I don't think they got any probes. At least, if they got any probes, they did not get more than one.
No, they didn't get a single probe, but he forced a lot of mining time.
Yes.
Anyway, those 5 lings are trying to probably do some stuff here. I like the placement of the probe to eventually make a shield battery and oh, I believe it's getting in. Yeah, they did get in, but the Oracle... Oh, he forces actually a lot of energy out of the Oracle. I don't think Paco might play this perfectly. I would have liked to see the shield battery immediately behind the Stoker to make a full wall and then cancel it. Since he wasted a lot of energy on this Oracle. Now he gets activated again and he has only 10 energy to actually try and deal some damage. He kills 2 drones, not a lot. I don't think Paco Mike actually knows of the... Oh no, he does. He does know about the third base of Starkiller. But no tech switch for Starkiller yet. He's not making units whatsoever. He just has 3 queens out, nothing else. I think he's waiting to do something. Yeah, see you there. And well, I absolutely have zero clue about what he's going to do next. I think he's going to transition into Hydras, since he sees the starport, and he does want to get probably heavy to links a little bit later, but the Steel Adept's getting so many drones. That's not what you want. 7 drones just died to just 2 adepts, and that's way more than you want to deal with. The 8th drone doesn't die, but Starkiller has to recover a lot since he's way behind in workers right now. He makes 11 workers to get back again into the leading spot, and immediately double Hydra then for Starkiller.
Oh.
Such an unusual build.
Okay. So, I guess he wants to hit a very sharp Hydra attack timing.
Yes. That's a super sharp timing attack. That's especially good versus Stargate. But in the meantime, he's losing way too much stuff to probably make it work. The amount of units killed by Pacomac is astounding. 14 workers killed and 28 lings. At the same time, this Void Ray is now getting into position to kill some overlords.
So, I imagine he built this Void Ray originally as just a blind roach defense, and then the roach timing was gone, so then he sends it out for harass.
Yeah, that's something a lot of Protoss players are doing recently.
Yeah.
And I was not sure why they were doing it, but I guess it can be a safe
It's also kind of like
a replacement. I really like this counter by Starkiller anyway.
It's also kind of a replacement for the single Phoenix. It just has a different tool set, shall we say.
I really like the Stasis Ward in the base of Starkiller by Picomike, and I really like the 7 proc kill with those this small pack of lanes. Now Warp Prism is actually moving out, Charge is almost done, and 2 Archons are probably trying to deal some damage. But with these main Hydras out, I don't really see a lot of damage being done. One of the Oracle actually dies, and well, I think Starkiller is getting in a pretty good spot with a lot of Hydras going on. I think he has both the upgrades. Yeah, he has both the upgrades for Hydras, and 30 more Hydras are coming out right now. So Hydras don't actually trade really good against Archons, but they can out-micro them in a way. When your army can actually micro
he picked off one of them, and
and he loses the Warp Prism. This is huge.
He got all of them, so he's in a fantastic position. There's no way for Paco Mike to put on additional pressure as he lost both Oracles and the Warp Prism. This is fantastic.
This is scary. This is really scary. Storm is halfway through. There are not enough Zealots to actually deal with these many Hydras. He needs that Archon to be alive as soon as possible. The Void Rays, not really good units against Hydras, and I think Starkiller has broken through. Paco Mike GG's out of the game, and such a good transition game by Starkiller.
Yeah, I feel like the game got thrown off for Paco Mike, and he's like, okay, well, let me just stabilize this way. And he got some really nice damage in that early to mid game. But it was just such a sharp timing, and getting the Warp Prism right before his move out window, really, like, he needed that Warp Prism to put on pressure to keep the Hydras at home. But because it was gone, that just wasn't a possibility. So I guess we're going to game 5.
Once again, actually. So this tournament has been really, really close until now. Game 5 on Automaton, I really like it. That's a pretty unusual map. So Starkiller asked for a little bit of a pause.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna take this moment to make another shout out to one of our great sponsors. So, you know, but let me ask you something, Zeno. Do you frequently find yourself not going to the gym because you're not motivated? You know, you do not have time until it's late at night. You know, like you have to work, you have to study, and then the only moment in which you could go to the gym is like 11 p.m. Does it ever happen to you?
I'm sure it has happened for some people. I may not be the best person to ask for this because
it has happened to me.
Specific reasons.
And man, I would like to really swap places with you because I do not live in NA and I cannot possibly go to 24-hour fitness. There are more than 430 gyms throughout the state's territory in each one of your probably cities and
actually
you can go to the gym there and you can go for all day, 24-hour a day open, fully equipped with everything you need to go to the gym. And man, I would really like to go to the gym. Like right now it's 10 p.m. in Italy. Maybe this event will be over and I cannot go to the gym as I told you before. And this is really too bad. And so
that's actually the funny thing. There are 2 24-hour fitnesses in my city.
Look at that. You can even choose.
So why would I have this problem?
Oh, come on, man. I wish I was there. Really, thank you to all our sponsors and to everyone who makes this possible, our viewers, our team, our manager, and our players, of course, and also to Xeno, who agreed to help me co-cast for this event. Really huge thanks to everyone who makes this possible. So Starkiller has probably gone for the longest bathroom break ever. I think he's lost.
Uh-oh. Maybe he decided to go lift weights. Oh, just kidding. He's back.
I would please this time. Will you make me ref? Yeah, he made me ref. So it does work. So the score is tied 2-2. Automaton as the last map. Pakomaki is going MIA.
Well, he's not in the US, so I don't think he went to lift weights. But,
Yeah, I don't think he did. Okay, so we're ready. We're going into game 5 of our second semifinals. We're gonna have our second finalist really soon. Anyway, you ready for the introductions?
yes.
Spawning in the left. What is happening?
Star Killer. Okay.
Oh, he's back. Spawning in the left side of Automaton. It's a red Zerg. Score is tied 2-2. He wants to go to the finals. He is Star Killer.
And at the 215 position, in the blue trunks, it is Paco Mike.
Well, what are you expecting? No early pool, no early archery, no early anything, a lot of drones.
This map has
drones.
gold bases.
What? That's a lot of drones before doing anything.
Oh look, a hatchery.
Oh. It's just on the wrong side of the map.
Wrong? What do you mean wrong?
It depends on who you ask. So 4 probes get called to deal with this. A zealot will be chrono boosted to actually kill the archery before it even can do anything. So this is going to be probably just a cancel into an Evo chamber to just
he doesn't
mess
have
a little
a
bit.
super fast pool with this, so it's not like designed for aggression.
No, and still no gas yet. He just started taking his gas, so. Anyway, the archery is almost going to get cleared. Will be cancelled really soon to start an Evo chamber immediately after. If he manages to do so, you have to be really, yeah, he does. The Evo chamber starts, and it's actually bugged for me. Okay, it's not bugged anymore. And at the same time, Starkiller going from a pretty standard build. Only thing that's pretty different is that he drone up to 22 before even getting the overload out. So he's going to have quite a healthy amount of drones as soon as he have his queens out.
Well, I think because of the timings of the hatch and the
Spawning pool?
yeah, it's like the supply lines up differently because it started off slower with the proxy hatch. Definitely gonna get over here, and will it get a drone? No, I don't think so.
He will not. He will not. He will just get a lot of mining time. That's something really good anyway. He gets a link. He probably will get a drone. Oh, really good deny by a Star Killer. That makes another Sporkler. Oh, the Sporkler is naturally is almost okay. He cancels it just as it was going to finish. Anyway, Stargate
had
in
this
the
been
wall for
an Oracle opener, which it is not, but had it been, then letting that first one finish or would not have been the end of the world. You would have needed it anyway.
Yeah, I think you will. Actually, you will have saved 18 minerals.
Yeah.
Anyway, now links are going to be sent through the map. The Phoenix gets cancelled actually, now it's an Oracle opener, and Starkiller sees that anyway.
Ling's working on this Stargate.
And there is nothing to shoot them away since the Adept died. Okay, another Adept is on the way, but it's not chrono boosted. The Oracle will not get denied, but 2 Lings actually get inside. And okay, the Phoenix is out. It is now, okay, now Oracle and Phoenix are out. He has to waste a little bit of energy on that lift. But the Lings get inside the base of Pacomike and actually manage to kill 2 probes.
Yeah, it never feels good.
A lot of energy.
It never feels good as Protoss when you're forced to lift Lings.
Yeah, and of course he was forced to use energy with the Oracle as well. That was probably the biggest of deals.
Sure. I mean, an Oracle defending from Lings is like part of its job requirements. But like,
yeah, but
a Phoenix defending Lings is like, what am I doing? This is the cheapest thing I could possibly be lifting.
Yeah. And now this Oracle will try and get some stuff done. He only gets 1 drone. And he's in a rough spot. He survives with 28 HPs. Now the Phoenix tries to get an overload or 2, but they're all in quite a good position. Easy to defend.
No. Here's what happened. When the Oracle, or when the Phoenix is lifting Lings, that's the equivalent of a bodybuilder from 24 Hour Fitness having to pick up pieces of paper one by one, and he's asking, why did you have me do all this weight training if I am just going to spend it on these flimsy little light units?
That's quite a good metaphor, I guess. And anyway, 2 Hydrodens once again for Starkillers. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. It's the game of those 2 series, I guess. The Overlord was like, nope, I'm not going nowhere near to that Phoenix. Now the Lings are trying to get out the Adepts, but they actually managed to survive. And this is probably going to be a multi-prong with Archons and Adepts. There is not a lot of stuff to defend from this, but the Hydras are going to come up really soon. Now there are 3 in the main, alongside 1 Queen. They are taking a lot of damage from these Archons, but they can buy enough time to eventually deal with this. At the same time, on the other side of the map, the Oracle has to use his energy to deal with those Lings, which is not doing it because Pacomike was focusing too much on his Archons, loses even 1, and now the Oracle is just not doing anything. He starts now to use his energy to kill those Lings, but 1 Pylon, 4 Zealots, and 6 probes have been killed by a small pack of Lings. Not what you want to happen. Anyway, quick transition by Pacomike, who's now starting to research Storm, Charge, and get some Immortals out as well. No more target units for him, since he knows he has to defend from a huge attack from by hard mid by Hydras really soon. 15 more Hydras, 16 more Hydras coming at the start of Starkiller's hatcheries. And now they get all cold and move out. That's quite a rough amount of Hydras. 19 Hydras and 30 of them making. I think it is enough to actually clear Pacomike's army if he doesn't get Storm soon. Is he gonna boosting Storm anyway? Yes, he is.
Yeah. I think he'll have Storm in time, maybe? I don't know, this is getting here pretty quickly.
Yeah, this is dangerous. I think he will have Storm at the right moment, since Archons and Immortals with this shield battery can buy out a lot of time. When Archon actually dies, Storm is almost done, and Storm is done now. He needs this perfect Storm to deal with this. But oh my god, 3 of the High Templars actually died, only 1 Storm, but it doesn't deal enough damage. Everything is dying. Zealots actually tried to charge on top of those Hydras, and in the meantime, two adepts are trying to deal some damage to the mineral line of Star Killer, and now the Stasis Ward gets totally ignored by those Hydras. Oh my god, this is gonna be huge!
Wow.
A lot of Hydras get blocked in the Stasis Ward, and I think that at this point he has enough Zealots to actually deal with this at the same time as dealing a lot of damage in the base of Star Killer. Actually, 8 drones died with this attack. Now those Hydras, oh my god, they take the War Prism out, the Hydras are gonna recover from the Stasis Ward, and those Zealots are immediately going to get shredded to bits by those quite compact Hydras. Now he's focusing on probes anyway. The attack is going to get created by 6, 7 probes, 8 probes, 9 probes, die. 10, let's make it 11, and those Hydras just won't die. Now they get created, but more and more are going to get streamed through the map. Now 3 Hydras versus an Immortal, but a lot of High Templars are dying in this attack, and that is not what you want to do. As a Protoss, I think Pacomite is totally broken by this huge stream of Hydras just coming into his base. More and more probes are dying, 14, 15, 16, 17. There is no end to the amount of workers that have been killed by Star Killer with just Hydras.
Just carnage.
And it just never stops. Look at the stream of units by Star Killer, who's just making units upon units, joining a little bit behind. He knows that eventually Archons are going to be out, and if he gets that Nexus, the game is basically over.
I mean... Well, okay, he did get some damage with those Adepts, so getting this Nexus is, like... It's not...
The Nexus gets cleared.
Yeah.
Oh,
it wasn't entirely necessary, but it certainly is a game ender.
more and more probes are dying, and I think Starkiller has done it. Pacomite thinks so the same. GG. Victory to Starkiller, who advances into the finals. Well, well. So, did you expect this?
Expect what?
Starkiller actually coming out on top after Pacomite almost reverse sweeped him.
I feel like Starkiller is definitely the type of person that's a very adaptable. So as long as he gets like, if he can control the game, whatever his plan is, then it goes well for him. And so I think he figured out how to do that. I don't know, somewhere in that series.
Yeah, I guess so. Where is the Sinner? Okay, here he is. He's in a custom. Why is he in a custom?
Maybe he's preparing some specific build for
Yeah, we'll just wait for him, I guess.
Okay, I will be right back.
Of course. Okay, so we're gonna have a best of 5 instead of a best of 7 because Sinner actually has stuff to do later.
Okay. It has been long.
I think it's gonna be okay anyway. So it's gonna be 3 vetoes each until just 1 mat remains.
I forgot tea.
So, Automaton, Poor, Alexander, and Kinsko are all vetoed maps right now. So no huge map unless Year Zero actually gets picked. And I don't think those 2 players are gonna pick Year Zero as the first map of the series. So I'm thinking about a veto next. Why are they not vetoing any maps?
I don't know.
Okay, new repugnancy is the 4th one. 2 more vetoes and we'll have our first map of this series. Cyber Forest, so it's gonna be either Kairos Junction or Year Zero, and I'm pretty positive it's gonna be Kairos Junction anyway.
I don't think Sinner knows he has a veto still.
Oh, those were not the vetoes.
Oh, those are map picks. I see now.
So, our first map will be Automaton. Well, as I said, they did not choose Year Zero, so it was for the wrong reasons, but they did not choose Year Zero. Can we hide match history?
Game privacy.
Yep. Okay, so we're ready. Getting into game 1 of our best of 5 finals. Automaton is going to be our first map, and Starkiller just played on Automaton, actually. It was a different matchup. It was a ZVP instead of a ZVT. And I'm actually really curious about seeing Starkiller performing in a ZVT, since it's such a defensive style matchup anyway, that it could be funny to see a player that actually plays out the micro game and not the macro game. But let's go into introductions. Spawning in the left-hand side of Automaton is our blue Terran. He is Sinner.
And to the top right, as the red Zerg, it is Starkiller.
So, since Cynical Death has been chat, I'm going to explain that this is not going to be a best of 7, since Sinner has some real-life problems, so he has to leave a little bit sooner. He has not enough time to play a best of 7, so this is just going to be a best of 5. I hope it goes a little bit faster, so he can actually...
Well, he's playing
I know the
Starkiller.
finals should be best of 7, but instead of having a best of 7, we will have a best of 5 and not have a forfeit.
He is playing Starkiller, so I mean, games can be short when you're playing Starkiller.
So you just have to be like that. Better to have a best of 5 finals instead of having a forfeit anyway. So Starkiller is going for Arch first, Pool second, standard build. Sinner is going for Refinery first, Barback second, and Reaper build. Everything going on, in the most standard way possible. Two players are just studying each other until now, not going for anything too aggressive. Anyway, Sinner, as always, has his SCV patrolling on the third base location on Starkiller to just try and avoid it a little bit.
Yeah, he's made a nice little bow with his patrol path there.
Yeah, it's cute, I guess.
Or maybe it's a fish, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's a fish. I think it is a fish. Look at this. Anyway, we have our first little bit piece of information by Sinner, who's getting a reactor and a factory, so this is probably 200% going to be Hellions.
200%?
Yeah, I'm just...
So what 100 for each Hellion production, Hellion building at a time?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Look at this, Hellions. So Alert starts pretty much immediately for Starkiller. That's really early there.
Could have been a nice catch. Almost had it.
Third base. That's actually something Sinner knows. He knows that there is no third base location. He didn't see the lair starting, but he sees there is not third.
So, one of the difficulty about this, though, is that Starkiller is one of those people that, like, if you deny his third, he might just like take a third later, or just like go attack you.
Kill you.
Yeah, like, and you don't necessarily know which. It could be either way.
But this is the fact. We have 4 gases taking, enough drones to provide 4 gas income, and a Spire started right now. So this is still base mutas.
Okay. Medevac with the Hellions gonna circle into the main.
Oh, this is going to deal a lot of damage, I think.
It's not been scouted until... Okay. He does pull barely in time.
He has to spread the drones and trying to get this run with them, unless you want to actually die to this. But with the Medivac in this, you actually cannot ever get a good surround because they will just get picked off and go away. Like, it just happens. And 8 drones died. What is this? Ah, burrow. Good choice, since you can just burrow your drones and not leave them to die. So basically just started.
I mean, you burrow the drones and then the Terran scans, and then it's the
but he has to waste 250 minerals to scout it.
I guess.
Because you do not get a move then, and I don't think it is worth, to be honest. Anyway, liberating the main, that's 4 drones, and it's getting a lot of eggs as well. He forces 1 build at the council. And once again, the Medivac tries to get it to the main, but the Medivac is going to fall. Those aliens are here, left to die and deal damage. Mutas get scouted. 7 drones die. 8 drones die.
With the Mutas, the time was on the... their time was running short anyway. So the Mutas are going
9 drones, it's quite a number.
Clean up
70 workers killed by Sinner in this whole game. There is not a lot of stuff to deal with these Mutas. There's just 1 missile turret for each patch. But I think the Widow Mines can get a lot of stuff done if Starkiller is not super careful about it. So now 1 Viking will get sniped by the Mutas. But the Widow Mine actually...
There were 2 of them there.
Oh gosh, this one is going to eventually get a lot of damage. So many Mutas died. And I think Sinner has had the perfect reaction.
I think he just won.
I think he probably just won. There is no way Starkiller can break through this. There is the missile turrets, there is the Widow Mines, there are a couple of Marines. You know, some SCVs are dying, but the Mutas are getting heavily bruised. They need time to recover from those.
He lost too many Mutas for basically nothing. It was a really nice bait. Putting the
Viking, yeah. There was a really clever bait, and now a lot of Marines are coming out of those barracks. You kind of need the Medivacs to support the Marines against the Mutas, since the Glaives can actually kill Marines pretty quickly. But if you get Medivacs out, basically Mutas will never kill Marines. It's just how they trade. So Starkiller knows he will not end the game with just Mutas, and he decides to transition into Roaches. He cannot get something more expensive since he just synced a lot of resources into these Mutas. So he has to go for a bit more economic build. He goes for Roaches, but it may be too late. So the Mutas will, oh gosh, the Widow Mine gets a huge shot on top of these Mutas. Half of them die. The Half Arbor remains heavily bruised. Now +1 carapace, +1 ranged, roach speed, and 8 roaches started for Starkiller, but at the same time we have an armory just started by Sinner, who's going to have a lot of stuff to deal with any amount of roach pressure. Now that the Medivacs are out, the Mutas cannot even trade with the Marines. The Lynx actually get a good trade with the Widow Mines, actually getting a couple SCVs. But now that the Marines are back, there is nothing more they can actually do. They will just get killed, get a little bit of a scout. You know, he sees a lot of barracks, he sees the bunker. He knows Sinner is going heavily into Bio. What he does not know is that he's getting quite the number of tanks out as well.
This is just a ugly position for Starkiller. Like, he really didn't get done with the Mutas what he wanted, and he's gonna go into Ravagers. Okay.
It can be a good choice, since both Ravagers and Mutas are good at one thing, which is picking off important units. You know, like those Medivacs. If he gets on top of them without dying to the Marines, he can actually, exactly like he just did. That was a really good play by Starkiller, who actually forced Sinner into being a little bit behind in position right now. Both in army supply and both in Well, not in workers, of course, since Muse and...
Yeah, in spite of shaky opening, I would say, he has gotten to a very strong mid game. So if he can get something done with this army that he has right now, before the Terran tech gets too sophisticated,
he's still a little bit... he will be heavily behind in upgrades really, really soon.
Yeah, he has a window right now with this army.
He has to get on top of the mines and the tanks as well, but those Widow mines get a huge shot on top of the mirrors. All of them eventually get cleared. The mines get on top of the tanks. The army of Stark Hero may be just too much.
Yeah,
too many medivacs
really strong.
building the supply. Those Widow mines will not kill roaches fast enough. The boys have been pulled, but those Ravagers are just wreaking havoc into the base of Sinner. Oh my god, such a good play by Stark Hero, who decided to eventually suicide those murders, but he suicided them on top of the Marines, so he dealt a lot of damage by a friendly fire. 9 SCVs have died in this attack, a lot of them have been saved by the medivacs, but now only 2 tanks are alive. I think Stark Hero has eventually to reset this attack. But the damage he has dealt has put himself so ahead in this game.
It was a really decisive attack. He identified his attack window and just dived on it.
Now that the upgrades have kicked in for Sinner, though, he has to back off. The strength for Sinner right now is, of course, his tanks in the high ground. He has 5 tanks actually alive in this moment, so you cannot break through this with just roaches and ravagers. So he's making hydras, which are extremely good at killing, of course, important units. All the bios almost get on top of the medivacs, and now the command center is once again under threat. A lot of SCVs are dying again. 7 more have been killed by those roach ravager. By this Roach Ravager army. Marines are kind of chasing behind those Roach Ravager, but at the end, Starkiller has to back away. +3 is started for Sinner's bio, and this is the moment in which Starkiller needs a tech up, and he does so by getting a hide and 5 Corruptors.
Okay, so he had a really strong attack. And it got in at this critical time that kind of allowed him to develop farther. I'm curious where he's developing with this, and you mentioned the Hydras, and he does have those. Oh, okay.
I think this is going to be Burlos pretty soon.
Yeah, he does have the Hive and the Spire, so...
The only thing that throws me a little bit off is that it does not have melee upgrades, and Broodlings actually suffer a lot from not having melee upgrades. So this could be just Corruptors on top of medivacs, and everything else is just a ranged army, and he wants to end the game before +3 kick in. Yeah, so these are 4 Vipers to actually deal with the tanks, Corruptors to deal with the medivacs, and everything else to kill the bio. I think this is the direction the game is going on for Starkiller. We just started +3 ranged and a muscular augments for his Hydras. Anyway, those Corruptors get on top of the medivacs, they kill 1. The Roaches are trying to get on top of the Marauders, but concussive shells helps them get away. Oh my god, another medivac actually falls. Now Starkiller has to find a way to break through. +3 Carapace just started, and +2 mech weapons started for Sinner as well. Starkiller is almost maxed out as well.
Are gonna hit this 3rd base location and get shoot away.
Yeah,
but they really set up for this tank push.
Yeah, the tank push is in a pretty huge spot, and the missile turret, I really like it, but the Vipers are now probably going to be the game-changing factor in this spot. Actually, Starkiller moves out in a pretty rough spot. He does not want to be here, I think.
with a good, oh, he needs the abducts. He needs the abduct. Oh, really good blinding clouds on top of the tanks. He decided to go for the blinding clouds, but he loses a good chunk of his ranged army to the tank bio army. The Vipers have quite a lot of energy to actually abduct those tanks outside of their good spots, but with a lot of Ravagers out, you can actually just blinding cloud on them and then try to bar them with Ravagers.
I like this Spore Crawler. It's, really denies one of the Terran tactics of
dropping into the main.
Right, with that tank.
And now the Vipers are getting really good blinding clouds on top of the Marines, on top of the tanks, and now everything is time for Sinner that has to get away with his medivacs unless he wants to die to these Corruptors. And now the army supply of Sinner is just made by 4 tanks, 3 medivacs, and a bunch of Marines. Nothing else for him. How many Vipers are alive for Starkiller? 3 Vipers are still alive. That's way more than enough to deal with 5 tanks, 6 tanks, 7 tanks.
Counting with Akon.
Oh, 8 tanks. Actually this 10, 11. How many tanks is he making at the same time? He's making 2 tanks at the same time.
200 supply of tanks.
That's pretty sick. I mean, tanks are really good against ranged armies. The Vipers are a little bit out of position. The tanks are actually doing a great job at dealing with those Hydras, but the Corruptors are on top of those Medivacs, and Bio is not viable anymore against this. Blinding clouds are exceptionally good on top of the tanks, and once again, Scenery is probably going to lose everything he has. The Corruptors are ready to go on top of the Medivacs, while at the same time, the ranged army is just shredding the tanks. Only one alive behind those supply depots is eventually probably going to save the day, and another one gets into a good position, while at the same time, a lot of Marines in the Natural or Starkiller are going to do an astounding amount of damage. 17 drones and Hutch have died, and now those Vipers, those Hydras are just trying to end the game, while at the same time the attack by Sinner gets shooed away. The game has basically reached a position in which it was almost resetting. The attack by Sinner was so clever, it did so much damage, but now Starkiller army is once again really strong, and only positioning can save Sinner. This game has been really tense, by the way.
Yeah, like, the Mutas didn't really get the damage they wanted in the early to mid game, but in the mid to late game, the Roach Muta force really secured a strong advantage that Starkiller has been leveraging as we develop into this.
Good attack on the tank that gets eventually killed by the Hydras. There are no more tanks, and Sinner knows that without tanks you cannot hold a ranged army. GG's out, and Starkiller gets the lead in the first game of the series. What a game!
Yeah.
Incredible performance by Starkiller.
That was just game 1.
Yep. I'm waiting for Starkiller to accept. Going on board Alexander as our second map of the series. Once again, a really big map, really prone to some long macro games. Okay, Starkiller said to be right back, so he's gonna have some time.
Does GameStop have I know that they had an exchange program.
Did they?
I don't know what they have nowadays. Let's see here. Yeah, you can sell or trade video games at GameStop.
Well, I think that's a reason more to support GameStop aside from them actually supporting us and making all of these events possible, since they recently moved from not only just getting into the business of players, single games and stuff like that, but they actually getting into business with esports. They are just getting more coaching, more stuff like this, and just helping the esports community develop in such a way that we are really grateful to them for making these events possible. And if I think about games in general, I think about GameStop immediately. That's just one more reason to support this great company who actually supports us in an incredible way. Oh, I think our players are actually ready. Shall we go?
All right.
And we're getting to game 2 of our best of 5 finals. So ZVT, Port Alexander, this is gonna be a long game, I think. Are you ready for the introductions?
Alrighty.
Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Port Alexander, he is the Blue Turban, currently lagging 1 point behind in this finals best of 5. He is Sinner, our newcomer player.
And to the southeast, as the Red Zerg, it is Starkiller!
He kills stars. Apparently. So, is this Drone Scout or is this Proxy Hatch? He has a lot of minerals.
Why can't it be both?
Yeah, this is
It's a
both.
proxy hatch.
Well, a Proxy Hatch is a means of scouting.
I guess. It didn't go into the main, but yes,
This is a lot of
technically.
SCVs being pulled. I think too many SCVs being pulled. You need 4 and a Reaper to actually deal with this. I guess he really
A
doesn't
Reaper
want
gives
to...
enough DPS for just 4?
I think maybe 5.
At any
And,
rate, it
actually-
is sufficient to kill it without,
Without it making it turn into Evo Chamber, yes.
right.
But still, this drone doesn't look like he's ready to leave Sinner's base. He wants to mess up with our Terran a little bit more. What if it turns once again into an archery?
It could. There's no reason why it can't. Go, 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 go! Oh,
This was so close.
he needed
There is
to,
actually a way to do so. Okay, now he's going back home, I
he
think.
needed to stop command on the ramp and then go again so that the
The SCV tries
would
to
hit
attack,
him,
yeah.
and then, yeah. And
Yeah,
then
you can do this by zigzagging as well. If you zigzag, actually, the SCV will try to do an attack, and well, At least that's what Lambo does.
Hmm.
And
Sharp
I try
turn
to
is
do
also
that.
the other way, yes. So that's the zigzag advance. It's the same thing as a sharp turn.
Yeah, you're just more experienced with workers micro, I guess.
Why might
Anyway.
that be?
Sorry?
Why might that be? Microing workers, huh? Anyway,
You know something about it, don't you?
maybe.
Anyway, nothing too scary happening right now, but I actually see one piece of information here in Starkiller's base. He started the spawning pool and he has not pulled drones out of the gas.
Oh yeah,
So
how
he
curious.
wants to make a lair, and he immediately starts one. Now the second instructor starts as well, so this could either be Fast Mutas once again or a Nidus. And judging by this Overlord's position, I think this is Nidus. Yeah, this is Nidus. I'm positive this is Nidus. Anyway, the Reaper cannot ever manage to get a scout into the main base unless he goes past those links and this queen. That's what makes Port Alexander such a good Nidus map. But Nidus against Terran is tricky, to say the least. You have to hit really soon, before any tanks actually come into play. And Starkiller is pretty lucky that actually this is going to be a Hellion drop into... But oh, well, it's not a Nidus. It's a Spire anyway. Still, Spire is really good against Hellion drop anyway. So... Still no third for Starkiller, who has 4 gases taken. By the way, the drop will start really soon. I think the Starkiller started it with the Overlord, but he's not quite reacting to it. He cancelled the Spore Crawler, and he's now getting links into his natural. Okay, so this Overlord will eventually see it all, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
There it goes.
So the links get into the main. They spread to try and get us around on top of the Medivac, and now the Medivac is getting attacked, while at the same time Reaper and 2 aliens is trying to deal with drones in the natural. Good scout by Sinner, who gets 2 drones and sees the Spire as well, but at the same time he lost 2 aliens and Reaper.
It was a really good setup and had a lot of potential, but quick reactions from Starkiller minimized the damage.
Now 7 mutas started by Starkiller, and actually no missile turret started yet because there was no NG bay until now for Sinner, so those mutas could eventually deal a lot of damage.
He has the mines
into a
again.
good position.
So like,
Yeah, he has a lot of mines anyway.
oh gosh, he has like
He has 6
more than
mines
I-
out and 1 almost out. Anyway, the drop gets once more into the natural. Starkiller gets 3 drones, but both the Medivac and the aliens get cleared.
I guess once
No,
he stopped
this was
Hellion
a cool.
production, he just went into mines.
Yeah, but those mutas will never find a way to get into the mineral lines of Sinner. There is only one place and it's not there. Oh, that's a meat grinder. 1 muta actually falls. Now the Marines get on top of the mutas, but 3 SCVs have been killed. Not super committed, just set 7 mutas. But oh no,
Oh, good.
another muta died.
He pulled
Good
off the
Michael,
muta.
He split, but it's still 100 minerals and 100 gas lost each time you lose a muta. And mutas, in small numbers, they are not pretty good. Okay, so the third base by Sinner will eventually get delayed, I think. Because this muta will eventually suicide itself. Okay, no. These mutas will eventually try and delay this orbital command. Widowmines try to get into a better position. Starkiller knows it could be a bait, so he just moves out with his Midas and starts a Baneling Nest in his main at the same time. +1 melee, +1 Carapace. You're ready as a Spire. He can't survive out of Lin Muda until he has Bloodlords out.
Huh?
Why? Oh, okay. It was a misclick.
Misclick. Okay.
Okay. I was getting really confused. I was trying to find a reason.
Yeah, I was also looking at it with a bit of concern.
Yeah, I think concern is the right word. Okay, so these links are easily going to get cleared, but the Widowmine will get a lot of friendly fire. Now the Mutas actually get on top of the Bio Army, get on top of the SCVs,
nice.
and that's a lot of damage dealt by those Mutas. The tank will eventually fall. Really good job by Starkiller.
Yeah,
A lot of Bio, 9 SCVs, 2 mines.
he predominantly only traded. I think he only traded Lings for that. I don't think he lost.
Yeah,
it
you
either.
didn't lose a single Muta in this attack.
So he got a tank.
9 SCVs and a good bunch. Oh gosh,
Oof.
those Widowmines dealt quite a lot of damage. I think they killed like 3 Mutas or something. The
At
other are
least.
really bruised. They will regenerate health faster because that's what Mutas do. But at the same time, that's a lot of stuff going on for Starkiller. 2 bases, 12 links, more Mutas, centrifugal hooks, +1 air, 8 banes. That's way more than enough to defend this push, I think. I think you cannot do it solely with Mutas. You have to get Banes out into a good position. Once you get some good connection with the... Oh, but those are slow Banes, of course.
Yeah, he doesn't
Now
have...
they are fast Banes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, now they are fast Banes. Okay, he can lose the base. It's not a huge deal, but the Widowmines get a lot of really good connections on top of the Widowmines. Eventually, everything Sinner has gets cleared, except a bunch of Marines that will easily get cleared by Banes as soon as they arrive.
Well, he doesn't
can
have
lose
any
this
Banes left
actually.
right now.
Yeah, he has 5 and 6 in the making.
Yeah.
Losing that actually is not a big deal. He has 2 archeries without any single drone out. So he can just send those drones to mine from those other archeries. It's not a huge deal. He still has way enough space to transition into Hive as soon as he makes an infestation beat anyway. Okay, so losing this archery then, this is not good. You don't want to lose that archery. You need to move your army over there. There is no multi-prong in action. That's all Sinner has. Chasing him outside the creep, I don't like it. I think he's actually trying to move out. Sinner was actually outmaneuvering him with those things, but now really good surrounds and he has to move the Medivacs away. But now with the Mutas chasing after the Medivacs, a lot of Marines are eventually going to die, and this is such a bad spot for Sinner to be in. A lot of Banes are trying to get a connection with those Marines. The Marines that are fleeing are not shooting, so the Mutas can eventually deal a lot of damage. Now only the tanks are remaining to deal with those Banes, and even those actually die, and the Banes get on top of the SCVs. Huge connection, huge micro by Starkiller, and this was such a convincing victory, heading to game 3.
Yeah, I feel like this is the game that he wanted to play on Automaton,
Yeah.
but he got surprised by the mine positioning. So this time he just was more careful about the mines, peeled off the targeted Muta to minimize his losses, and was able to get that pick off on the tank, the 9 SCVs, and then he forced the attack as opposed to
to actually try and get inside of Sinner's army.
right. Okay. I will be right back as soon as we load into this. I'm going to put it on your camera. I have
sure.
to check something. Figure out why the dog is upset.
So, I'll just start the game. Are you okay with this?
Yes. Go.
Let's go. King's Cove is our third map of this series. So the first 3 maps, huge maps. And Starkiller won on the first 2. But I don't know if you remember, in the first series, Sinner did that really good push with tanks and bio against the Roach Ravager army of the Zerglot. And he played such a convincing game on King's Cove. So I'm quite curious to see what he does, actually, on this scenario, losing 2-0. Anyway, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of King's Cove is our blue Terran. He is Sinner. And I think he's going to go for a Reaper Rush out of 3 racks. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove is instead as the red Zerg leading the series 2-0 in this best of 5 match point. He is Starkiller. The score is 2-0 for Starkiller. As soon as Xena is back, he will fix it in the score. Anyway, more and more barracks. The second one will be dropped really soon. Here it is. This is a lot of Reapers coming outside of Sinner's base right now. And this is really strong build on King's Cove, since this place exists. Look at all this surface area on which the Reapers can actually climb. That's actually insane. Oh, well, this is not surface area, but, well, you know what I mean. Starkiller is going for the most standard play possible.
Ledge space. Cliff space is what you mean.
Yeah. But anyway. I'm not native, come on. Don't knock me. Anyway, the first 2 Reapers are coming outside of those barracks. The Wolof will soon be done with this supply depot, and the third barrack, is almost done actually in the main base of Sinner. So this is 3 racks Reapers.
So the follow-up, are you expecting him to do the 5 racks again, or do you think he'll do the stim?
I think he will do that, just because there is less micro potential for Starkiller in that scenario, since he has to defend with solely. Starkiller was going for fast Evo chamber build, and he's still going for a fast Evo chamber build. That can be quite good against Reapers. If you get Carapace out, actually Lynx can survive 1 shot more, and so do Banes. And that means basically that you need a lot of Reapers to actually deal with this. This was actually what the Zerglot tried to do on Repugnancy before.
Yes.
Actually, he's going for +1 melee. So he wants to make Banes and 1-shot Reapers?
He may have...
I really don't know about this. So NG Bay for Sinner seems like this is going to be a 5 rack soon. Since that's what he did last game as well. Anyway, these Reapers are making quick work and not a single Reaper died just yet. The Queens are still alive, almost getting a good surround on those Reapers, and now that they are fast lanes, getting us around is way easier. They cannot get on down of this cliff, and the amount of Reaper actually gets cleared. Sinner sends all of his Reapers back home.
So that's
now with
a really
nest, I think Starkiller can win the game.
Huge difference compared to the new Repugnancy game we saw, where he never actually lost more than, I don't know, maybe a Reaper at any one time.
Yeah, a couple of Reapers, maybe 2 Queens, but never more. Anyway, here are the 2 next barracks. This is going to be a 5 racks Reaper build. So he's pretty much all in. Sinner is pretty much all in this.
Yeah, this +1 Reaper timing must kill Starkiller, and I don't really see it doing that after that cleanup. Starkiller will have his own +1, and
I really like Starkiller killing those rocks, by the way. This can be more important than it seems.
particularly in this scenario.
Yeah. He's also droning a little bit behind this and getting a +1 carapace as well. I would like him to get a little bit of a scout in the main base of Sinner, but I think he knows what's coming anyway. I think he knows there is a pretty big Reaper production. I don't know if Starkiller wants to go for a counter or wants to surround them in the middle of the map. Actually, those lanes quite get a good surround. It was really close to dealing with all those Reapers. Really good micro by Sinner, but actually loses just 3 Reapers to this crazy amount of lanes. Most of them are really super bruised, so he has to back away. He still cannot deal a lot of damage without +1 finished.
Carapace is a third of the way done, so by the time Sinner gets a strong engagement against Starkiller,
Ooh, Starkiller, crazy micro on top of those
if he
Reapers.
gets a strong engagement, gosh, all these Lings have been giving chase to these
Starkiller's
Reapers.
micro with those links has been crazy throughout the game with that crazy DPS. +1 is given to him. He cleared all of the Reapers. Only those, how many of those? 9 Reapers in the main of Sinner remain. And the amount of workers and units Starkiller is getting out is currently getting hard of hand for Sinner. 51 workers to 43 and 24 army supply to 18 right now. 7 Reapers being made at one time. This is a 7 Rats Reaper attack.
What?
More than all-in. This is super all-in.
I mean, when there's definitely something to be like. If you've gone for the 5 racks, the 7 racks is really your only option.
Now that +1 is finished for those Reapers though, the amount of DPS they can deal is pretty crazy. This is a huge amount of Reapers, 15 Reapers. And it could be too much anyway. After all Starkiller did this game, it could still be too much. I think you need Banes or Roaches against it. You cannot survive out of solid lanes. Good grenades by Sinner that eventually...
I don't know, he has Carapace too though. So as long as his Ling count swells and he gets a good wrap, he can still clear this.
Okay, so he just ignores us big time and gets a Spire
Well.
instead.
Well, I guess Reapers don't shoot up, so...
Yeah, that's always a good counter, I guess. Okay, so those lanes are buying actually quite a lot of time, but the amount of Reapers is getting a little bit out of control. I don't think you can actually trade with this in this moment. I think Sinner thinks he killed the... Okay, no, he doesn't think he kills the Cryptumus, he kills him now after a scan, but the grenades actually play against him in a way that kills a lot of his
Well,
Reapers
the
by
thing
getting
is-
him accidentally surrounded.
The army size on both sides has swelled to a point that, like, you cannot really control the grenades perfectly.
But I
in-
think Starkiller has got once again
Unless
an
you're like,
incredibly good engagement, and now Starkiller with these overloads, there is nothing that shoots up. So with the overload spreading creep in the third base location of Sinner, Sinner cannot get a third base. He's getting techlets next to his barracks. I think he's wanting to transition into standard bio play. He's getting a factory as well, but he may be a little bit too late. As soon as those mutas show up, I don't think he will have any
that
inside
is a
cover
closer.
ready.
There's no answer for the mutas.
Oh gosh.
One is out.
Is this the end of this series, of this best of 5? Will Starkiller just clear everything with the mutas? He's actually focusing Reapers now, and at the same time Sinner is getting a lot of missile turrets in his bases. So he eventually will not kill Sinner, It will clear this Reaper army, of course, with the Mutas, but it will not end the game, since 9 Marines are being made at a time, and right now there will soon be a reactor-rated starport.
Stim is just so far away. How is he ever going to contest the Lings? These are 1/1 Lings that he forced out with the Reapers.
I think he has to just stay behind the supply depots.
And he can't even take this third location because the Overlord
because of the creep, yeah.
And he never got a chance to
he has to raise the debut. Okay. I don't think Starkiller can get in, even if there is no stim. This is a huge amount of Marines that can just shoot at the Lings while they try to hack at the wall. At the same time, the time that this third base location has been delayed for Sinner could just snowball into a loss for him. The amount of mutas is going up. Once again, the name of the game for Starkiller is Planes on Marines, Lings on eventually tanks as soon as they will be out, because I think there will be tanks out at a certain point.
I don't know about that.
Well, probably not, actually.
His factory is not...
Yeah, he's just flying to somewhere. I don't know where. This is a brave factory, but at the same time, the Mutas trying to hack at the NG bay. The Marines steam into position, and now the Mutas have not a lot of space to actually get out of this alive. Really good control by Sinner, who gets almost half of these Mutas, with a really good spread of his Marines. Now the amount of Marines Sinner has could be in his favor. I think 51 Marines are not something to frown upon.
No, I think Sinner decided to play mono battles and started with Reapers and then went into Marines instead.
Yeah, but without the +2/+2 done, I don't think he can beat his army. I think he has to back away unless he wants to lose anything. Especially since he's so close to creep.
He has some pre-split.
Really fast. Yeah, he has a good split, but oh my god, the Paints get some really good connections anyway, and the Lings actually try to get us around. A couple of Marines actually get away, but Starkiller is almost maxed out, he's getting an infestation pit, while at the same time, Sinner +2/+2 is not even done. Those Medivacs have no boost anymore, they will get cleared by the Paints, by the Bermudas, and Starkiller gets the series with a 3-0 victory. I guess the tournament as well.
Really good Ling control to get on top of those initial Reapers and just gain tempo.
Just winning 3 games against Theron out of pure Lean Bane Mutas. It's crazy. I know in the first game he made some Vipers, but anyway, his control was really out of his mind. Controlling Lean Bane Muta army, trust me, Xeno, is nothing easy. Not even close. It's probably one of the hardest armies to control anyway. And I think Starkiller did an incredible job at doing so. And he showcased it into every single one of these finals matches in a pretty different way. I think even if he played the same comps, I think he played the 3 games in such a different way that always put him ahead, like he was thinking ahead, and Sinner was just trying to react of what he has seen in the game before.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, really great job by Starkiller, our Alpha Scrims edition number 3 champion. And guys, I just used the command into the chat to bring up the match arena code. Please make sure to use this because this could support our players in a great way. It's free. You can just use it in like 30 seconds of your life and it will net this amazing player who just won this tournament a little bit more money after putting such a lot of effort, such a big effort into training and being an active member of the community. So please make sure to use it and just add a little bit more money for free to the prize pool. The tournament is over, guys. Starkiller won the finals 3-0. It was a best of 5 instead of a best of 7 because Sinner could not play a best of 7 for reasons of time. So we have a champion, and it is Starkiller. Congratulations.
Nuclear missile ready.
Well, this is everything for today. I just want to thank once again our sponsors, our manager, and our viewers, Michael Caster, Xenodactyl, and of course our players for making this possible. And we're gonna be back next month.